Testing. Okay, alhamdulillah. All right, Hakim, are we live on YouTube? Yes? Okay, very good. Inshallah. All right, we'll begin. What's that? Yeah, when you get a chance, we can just keep coming up here and set it up, but I'll get started, inshallah, in the meantime. Okay, I'd like to start on time. And I'm hearing myself because I'm on YouTube. Alhamdulillah. We don't like to delay at all, So, all right, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. So let me see if we have some people online. We have 2 people watching now, 3 people watching now. Alhamdulillah, very good. So if you want, you can just type in the YouTube chat for those of you who are online. So I'll just say Assalamu alaikum, and that will prove whether you are real people there or you are trying to go from some other country and market your services to us. Okay. Email the slides? I can email the slides to you. The slides are right here, actually. So you can have this. Bismillah. Yeah, we'll be sending it out. Okay, so Alhamdulillah. Dougish 786. That's the most interesting screen name I've ever come across. 786 in like the Desi community, it means Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Right? Use it and you still use it, right? So people use that number 786, and then we got the Dougish. So you're not a thug, but you're like kind of like a thug. But then you got the Bismillah there, so that's good. Alhamdulillah. All right, mashallah. Yeah, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. All right, inshallah. So let's get started. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. We have a few technical issues that are being resolved. So while that's getting set up, we'll get started. So alhamdulillah, Hajj is the journey which most of you are going to be undertaking. How many of you are going to be performing it for the first time in your life? This is your first Hajj ever. Okay, very good. Alhamdulillah, may Allah accept from us. So let me cover a few things regarding Hajj. So first of all, Hajj means pilgrimage. And Umrah also means like an intention or intending to go somewhere, but it means like intending to go towards pilgrimage to Mecca. So really, Hajj and Umrah, they're both journeys to Mecca. So when you go to Mecca, you go there for a specific intention. You don't just go to Mecca for trading or anything else like that. You don't go there for shopping. You're going to Mecca, that is what Hajj means, that is what Umrah means. If you go any time in the year, it's called Umrah. If you go at the specific time of the year in the month of Dhul Hijjah, which is the one that's coming up, that's called Hajj. Now, this is an obligation that every Muslim is supposed to perform Hajj at least once in their life, if they're able to perform it financially and physically. Right? So, what is the reason why we do Hajj in the first place? We do it because obviously we're taught in Islam we have to do it. But in addition to that, we do it because we're commemorating the spirit of Prophet Ibrahim and his family. So Prophet Ibrahim was the one who was commanded by Allah to leave his family, his wife, his son, in the valley of Mecca, where there was pretty much nothing there. And that city became a prosperous city. And then Allah told Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail to build the Kaaba as a sign of monotheism, of people who are only going to worship one God. So that's what really Hajj is about. It's about commemorating what happened in the past with Prophet Ibrahim, reconnecting to that, what's the right word? Like that history or that event that happened, to also show as Muslims today, what is our path, what is it that we follow? We're following Prophet Ibrahim. And why are we going to Mecca? We're not going to Mecca because of the Saudi family. We're not going to Mecca because there's been a lot of Muslims there. We're not even going to Mecca because the Prophet ﷺ was born in Mecca. This is not the reason why we're going to Mecca. We're going to Mecca because the Kaaba is there. And the Kaaba was built by Prophet Ibrahim, and Hajj has been performed since the time of Prophet Ibrahim, thousands and thousands of years ago. So that's what Hajj is really about. So what we're going to do when we go for Hajj is we're going to visit Mecca and we're going to visit a few nearby regions. Even if you don't go to the city of Medina, your Hajj is still complete. You don't need to go to Medina if you're going on your Hajj trip. You should, it's nice, it's not far, you get to visit an important city, but it's not a requirement of Hajj. So there's a difference between Hajj being in Mecca and then Medina being part of that trip. Hajj is going to take place Um, oh, Hakim, you want to flip the slides for me? Okay. Or do you want to give me a clicker? Oh, got it. Okay. So let's leave it here, inshallah. Okay. Is it going one point at a time, or is it going the whole thing? You can't go one at a time? Oh, it's on Mac, huh? Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so where are we? So visiting Mecca and some nearby regions is what Hajj is, right? So it says, what are the days of Hajj? The days of Hajj specifically are from the 8th to the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. So the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. We're looking at 5 days. There's a 6th day that's optional. You could stay for the 13th. Otherwise, your Hajj is done. The rest of the journey while you're there, you're in Mecca just to stay in the city of Mecca. You're going to be in Medina just for the city of Medina. Hajj is technically 5 days. You could get in on day 8. You can get out on day 12, potentially. But it almost never happens because there's no flights on those days. So it's almost impossible. And that's why if you wonder, why are the really short 6-day packages, why are they so expensive and the long packages are cheaper? It's because everyone wants a short package. Flights are completely booked out. And this is what I was told. You can verify that. It may be true, maybe not be true. And that's like the super short ones are the most expensive Hajj packages because of the flights and the hotels. And these are like the peak time, right? So that is what we're looking at. We're looking at 5 days of actual Hajj time. Now, Hajj consists of about 4 to 5 million people being there at the same time. We're looking at the largest annual gathering in the entire world at one time. So what's going to happen is, obviously, if you've ever been to a very large gathering before, when there's so many people, it doesn't matter how well organized it is. It doesn't matter how much you try to, keep things clean and this and that. Some people are going to throw some trash. Some people are going to push a little bit, shove a little bit. There's going to be a little bit mess up in logistics here and there. It happens everywhere. It happened this year at Coachella. This one of this concerts that happened recently over here in California. It happens at large conventions. So it happens in Hajj. So just be prepared for that. It's a very, very large gathering. And what is Umrah? Umrah is visiting the Kaaba. Like I said, it's like the short Hajj. It's the mini Hajj. So Hajj lasts for 5 days. Umrah lasts for about less than 5 hours. So one is like 5 hours, one is 5 days. That's like the big difference between Hajj and Umrah. So during Hajj, most people are going to perform Umrah. So when you go, and if you're in my group, which I think, how many of you are in my, all of you are in my group? Yes, alhamdulillah. So all of you are going to be performing Umrah as well. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do Umrah first. 3 to 5 hours, if we're really good, maybe, 2.5, something like that. 3 to 5 hours, well, a little bit longer depending on the delays from the airplane by the time you get in ihram. But the actual physical part of it is going to be shorter. So we're going to perform Umrah, and then we're going to stop, and our Umrah is going to be finished, and then we're just going to kind of relax in Mecca for a while, and then we're going to start our Hajj. So there's a gap between our Umrah and between our Hajj. I'm going to explain this in more detail, okay? And I'm going to be taking questions on this soon. Let's go to the next slide. So this is Arabia. This is where we're going. You have Medina, north of Mecca, and the rest, just don't worry about it. So that's pretty much the important thing. This is where we're going. I just put that in there because this is like the only decent map I could find. So you understand, Medina is north of Mecca. So we're going to go to Mecca first, and then we're going to go by bus or train all the way north to Medina. And then we're going to be flying out, if I read this itinerary correctly, we're going to fly out of Medina on our way back home. Okay, next slide. All right, this is what Mecca used to look like in 1850. So I like this, it's history. It looks very interesting. If you look at the hill, completely surrounded by hills, right? It's got this old style to it. It's just like it's just got a barrier outside. So the Kaaba is in the middle. The Kaaba is that black box-looking thing, small building, and it's just got a thing around it. That's 1850, and then it's got all these houses around. Okay, next slide. This is what Mecca looks like now, pretty much. 2015, it's actually even more different. So all those hills that you saw, they've all been flattened. The Kaaba is there. If you look very closely, it's like in the middle. The expansion has been there, and now you see this giant expansion almost looking like a baseball field kind of coming out. That is the brand new expansion that was just done in 2015 or 2014, I think it began. It goes all the way back this way, and on the other side, you got all these hotels. And you got this giant clock tower, which, you know, some people are critical of its art style being there in the ancient city of Mecca. I'm one of those people as well. But there's these large hotels on this side, right? So pretty much where you're going to be staying, guess where you're going to be staying? So because you got the economy package, we're going to be all the way behind the mountains on this side. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm just kidding. Everyone's going to be over there with the, they're all going to be on the side where the hotels are, okay? So don't worry. Even in the economy package, we're still going to be there, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, that picture is coming back soon. So that's where we're going to be, inshallah. So everyone is on that side. What's going to happen is there's a bunch of hotels, and in those hotels there's like massive restaurants and shopping malls and everything. Pretty much all those small places where you used to buy from, there's a very few of those little bazaars left, and everyone just goes to all these multi-level malls inside these hotels. So you're probably going to be eating some of your food inside the hotel, then you're going to go to the masjid, then you're going to go back to the hotel, eat your food, and you go back to the masjid. That's kind of how it's going to be. All right, so that is summary of kind of what Hajj is, what the Kaaba looks like. So now the virtues of Hajj. Let's go next slide. And, oh, nice. Okay, and you're bringing me a clicker, right? Inshallah. Very good. So, actually, we still need the next slide after this. So let me tell you the virtues of Hajj. So if you perform Hajj, what is the reward for performing Hajj? The reward, Jazakumullah khairan. The reward, according to the Prophet ﷺ, is whoever performs Hajj sincerely for Allah and avoids obscenity and sins will return from the journey like the day his mother gave him birth, meaning with no sins. Meaning if your Hajj is accepted, and inshallah it's accepted from all of us, then we will be like all of our sins have been cleansed. So it's a very virtuous journey, in addition to being an obligation. Now keep in mind this is conditional. This is not a get out of hell free ticket. This doesn't mean that people just go and they're like, you know, I did Hajj, now I can come back and I'm clean, I can, go to, start drinking some alcohol, I can go smoke some weed or something like that. That's not what it means. The Prophet, peace be upon him, also said regarding fasting, he says, it may be that a person who fasts in Ramadan, they get nothing except hunger, and a person who prays, they gain nothing except fatigue. They stand up at night and they pray. So you can potentially do an act of worship in Islam and get nothing out of it. You could be praying and you just get tired. You could be fasting and you just get hungry. You could be giving your zakah, but you had a really bad intention and you just lost some money. And you could be doing Hajj and you just got tired. Maybe you got sick when you come back, but if your intention was not clear, you're not avoiding doing bad things, you're not avoiding sins while you're there, then it's not, you're not going to have the same virtue. So this was a motivation from the Prophet, peace be upon him, to show how valuable Hajj is. But at the same time, we should always be careful and remember, we should not fall into that mentality of, it's just the action itself. No, it's the internal state while we're going to be there as well. Okay. Now you choose a type of Hajj. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to choose a type of Hajj. The Prophet, peace be upon him, he said, it's fine to perform Hajj and Umrah together, or perform Hajj alone, or to perform Umrah followed by Hajj. So there's 3 types of Hajj actually, and you're going to just pick one. One of them is to merge Umrah into Hajj as 2 separate acts. Tamattu, this is known as Tamattu, which basically means you go perform your Umrah, then you stop your Umrah, and you take a break, take off your Ihram and everything, and then you put your Ihram back on and you resume Hajj. This is one. Second option, this is the easier one, and this is the most common one. And the reason why it's so common, why do you think it's so common? Because it's easy. It's common because it's easy. So the easier one is the most common. Guess which one we're going to be doing? This is the one we're doing, okay? So we're doing the easy one, especially for people who are going for their first time, okay? And then you can combine Umrah and Hajj together in one act, which means you need to keep your ihram on the whole time without taking it off. And the second way is to just do Hajj only without the Umrah, which usually people who live in Mecca would do that because they're performing Umrah all the time anyways, right? So we're going to be doing the first type. So it's known as Tamattu'. All right, so if anyone ever asks you which Hajj are you doing, there's three types. You're doing the easy one, or you could say the Tamattu' one. Tamattu' means enjoyment. So basically you take your ihram off and you get to enjoy your normal clothing for a little bit longer than other people who have to stay in this garment, right? For men, they have to stay in this garment and this is not comfortable, all right? So for women, it's a lot easier to do the other Hajj, but for the sake of the men, to make their life easier, thank you sisters, we're all going to be doing Tamattu' together, okay? If anyone wants to do the other one, you can do it. I'll help you with that inshallah. So where does Hajj actually begin? Hajj actually begins at what's called the miqat. Miqat is a boundary. And this boundary is basically 5 locations around the Kaaba. If you look, the Kaaba means Mecca. There's 5 actual locations in Arabia that were mentioned. 4 of them were mentioned by the Prophet, peace be upon him. 1 was figured out. And if you look at those 5 locations, if you were to draw a line around each one, straight line between each one, you get a 5-sided figure, right? What's a 5-sided figure called? Pentagon. Good. So a pentagon, if you draw a pentagon with that, what happens is your Hajj actually begins the moment you cross into that pentagon. So you're traveling around, we're going to be flying from Turkey, we're going to be going over, right? And when we start coming in, our plane path, I'm not sure what it's going to be. It's going to be something like this or whatever it is. Whatever our plane path is, the moment we cross over that pentagon, that means that our Hajj or our Umrah has started from that moment. For us, we're doing Umrah first, so our Umrah has started. So what does it mean that our Umrah is started? It means, okay, inshallah. You want to? Do you need to?
Yeah, just to make it line up.
Oh, it's the people cannot see it?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, that's fine. I'll keep going, inshallah. So we're having some technical issues, but they'll be resolved very soon. So you got 5 locations. So they're going to tell you on the airplane exactly when you're crossing over. So they're going to say, we're about to cross that location in 10 minutes. Right? So what that means is, the moment you get that announcement, you need to make sure that if you're a man, you are changing your clothes and your clothing is, you're in this clothing when you cross over. And if you're a woman, you want to make sure that, whatever clothing you're wearing, it's suitable for performing Hajj and Umrah. I'm going to talk about that. And you want to make sure that the moment you cross over, you're not allowed to cut your nails anymore. You're not allowed to cut your hair anymore. You're not allowed to do certain other things. So you have begun your Umrah from the moment you cross over. Okay? Now what we're going to be doing is, I recommend this. We're flying to Istanbul first. I recommend you take your clothing, you take your scissors, you take your, whatever, shaving machine or whatever it is, you take your fingernail clippers, or if you do the whole, what are those manicure things called, those sticks? Nail file, yeah, you take your nail file, whatever it is you do all of that in the airport in Istanbul, right? So you're going to, yeah. So, sorry, there's 2 flights. So some of you are going to Istanbul. I'm going to Istanbul first, and some of you are going to Dubai. So how many of you are going to Istanbul first? Okay, so you are going, no, not in the Umrah trip, but you are in the Umrah trip, yes. Alhamdulillah, you're going through Istanbul, right? And how many of you are going through Dubai? Yeah, Dubai. So some of you, half of you are in Dubai flight, half of you are Istanbul flight. Yeah, so I've been put into the Turkish Airlines, and you guys are on Emirates. Yeah, so either way, it doesn't matter. Once you leave, Dubai is not inside the Pentagon. So if it's not in the Pentagon, once you jump on your flight that's going to be going towards Jeddah in Arabia, they're going to notify you in the plane. We're like 5 minutes away or 10 minutes away. They're going to give you that notification. You need to be in your clothing. Now for those of you who stop in Istanbul or you stop in Dubai, before you jump on the second plane, it's recommended you change your clothes. It's recommended you cut your nails. Go in the bathroom, cut your nails. If you want to, cut the hair that you need to cut, you can do that. If you wanted to, since it's not that long of a time, you could do it before you leave from, America. So if you wanted to do that, you're like, look, I don't want to be having like, cutting hair inside the bathroom, and it's not appropriate. It may not be a good facility or something like that. You can do that earlier because it's not that much earlier, right? It's like a short period of time. It's like a 12-hour, 10-hour flight or something like that, 12, 14, 15-hour flight. So you can do that earlier, okay? If you wanted to, technically, you could say, I'm doing all of this in the airplane. I'm going to do it exactly at the moment when I'm crossing over. So they give you a 10-minute warning, and you're like, I'm going to go and cross over. I'm going to change my clothes in the airplane. I'm going to cut my nails in the airplane. I'm going to go and trim my hair in the airplane. That's technically when you're allowed to do that, but we have high-speed travel. You need to be done by the time you cross over, okay? It needs to be done. And airplanes, if you've noticed, are not the most comfortable restrooms, the lavatory, as they say in the airplane. And there's not that many of them, and they're not that comfortable. And unless you're like in first class or something like that, then it's probably even there is still not that comfortable. So it's recommended you put it on in advance. Okay, so that's the miqat. Very important to. Hakim, is this clicker working or no? No? Okay, that's fine. Well, at least you see a slide there. All right. So moving on. So what we're going to do is we're going to just mark that spot in our minds that the moment we cross, we are going to be preparing, and we're starting our Umrah. Hajj and Umrah starts in the airplane when you cross over that boundary, okay? If you were going by bus, it would start in the bus. You would stop technically. So this is what's called ihram. We're going into the state of ihram. So ihram is actually a state. Sometimes people say this is ihram clothing. So we say this is your ihram. That's actually not 100% correct. This is your clothing for ihram. Ihram is a state. It's an internal state and it's an external state. It's almost like wudu, right? Wudu is not the water that you wash, right? And wudu is not just the washing. You're in a state of wudu, as you say, right? Wudu is the washing, but we say state of wudu, right? So ihram is where you're going to wear a specific type of clothing. You're not going to wear a specific type of clothing, like men cannot cover their hair, women should not cover their face, men do not cover their feet, things like that. And you're not supposed to cut your nails, you're not supposed to cut your hair, you're not supposed to wear any type of perfume. Okay, and I'm going to give the details. So here's what's going to happen. Before you enter the state of ihram, there's a few things that you want to do that's very highly recommended. It's considered to be a sunnah. First thing you do is you're going to trim your nails. Now again, where can you do it? You can do it before you leave America. You can do it before you board your next flight from Dubai or Istanbul. Or you could do it in the airplane right before you're about to cross into that miqat boundary of the Pentagon. Hey, you could do either one of the three. I recommend, or what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be doing it in the airport in Istanbul/Dubai. Okay, so you bring your nail clipper, you clip your nails. You're going to trim your nails. Why are you trimming your nails? Well, one, it's sunnah to trim your nails, and now for the next 5 days, next few days, you're not going to cut your nails again. You're not allowed to cut your nails while you're in the state of ihram, so you cut them now. Second thing you're going to do, you're going to shave or trim your underarm hair, your pubic hair, and your mustache for men. So you do that because you're not allowed to do that later, and you're supposed to do that anyways as a Muslim on a regular basis. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a bath. Now, if you take a full bath, like what's called ghusl, you may be able to do it in the airport, you may not. You're probably not going to get to do it in the airplane, otherwise everyone else after you is going to suffer walking into the giant puddle of water. I don't know how in the world you do that, but you take a bath or you perform wudu if you cannot take a bath. So if you can take a bath, there's showers in the Istanbul airport, if they happen to be there, or in the Dubai airport for Hajj specific people, they will have maybe showers there. If they don't have showers, or it's too busy, or it's too dirty, or whatever it is, just make wudu. And that'll be sufficient. Again, this is all recommended. If you can't even make wudu, you're like, look, there's a half an hour line for the bathroom, my flight is leaving, you don't have to perform wudu. Okay, this is recommended, highly recommended. Then what you do is you apply perfume or deodorant, anything with a good smell, to your body. Not to your clothes, to your body. Because you're not in a state of ihram yet. So since you're not in ihram yet, you could apply it on your body, but you don't put on your clothes, because then when you get the ihram clothing on and you go into the state, you're not supposed to have that on your clothing, right? So it's going to kind of go away if it's on your body quickly. If it's on your clothing, it's going to remain for a long period of time. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pray 2 rak'ahs, 2 units of prayer, or any other prayer. So what's going to happen is, if you happen to be preparing at one of the prayer times, let's say it's Zuhr time, and you just made your wudu, you just trimmed your nails, you just cut your hair, you made your wudu, and then everyone's praying Zuhr. You pray Zuhr, sufficient, you don't need to pray anymore. If it's not a prayer time, you're going to pray 2 rak'ahs, 2 units extra prayer. Just make the intention of 2 units of extra prayer, and you're going to read Surah Al-Kafirun and Surah Al-Ikhlas in there. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ and قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ in there, in the first unit and in the second unit. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Even if you're preparing from home. Even if you're preparing from home, yeah.
Can I go back to the
No.
deodorant? They keep talking about unscented.
We're getting there.
Thing,
We're-
but when is that time? If you have unscented deodorant on, you're okay.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there, inshallah. All right. Next slide. Okay, so the ihram. No, back. So special clothing. So again, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be wearing a special type of clothing, and the reason of special, especially for men, they're going to be wearing these 2 garments. The reason why we wear special clothing is due to the simplicity of it. Very simple, and it's humility. Right? So what's happening, clothing is like everyone's going to be wearing almost the same clothing, especially in terms of the men. The women have an exemption. They can wear their normal clothing because this doesn't really cover the body very well. So so you don't want a woman wearing that. But this implies very simple and a lot of humility when you're going in front of Allah during this act of worship. Now you want to wear this clothing in a very convenient place, a convenient location. Like I said, you can do it on the airplane, but you can do it before you cross that border. How long can you do it before you cross that border? Again, you are only wearing the clothing right now. You are only cutting your nails right now. You're not in ihram until you reach that border. Okay? So you could do it 1 hour before, you could do it 5 hours before, you could do it 10 hours before, you could potentially do it like 20 hours before. Maybe it's not recommended to do like more than 24 hours before or something like that. Okay, so it's okay to wear and prepare all of this in advance. So what are men going to do? Men are going to wear 2 unstitched sheets, or they kind of look like towels. This is what the ihram is. You probably received the package already. I'm going to open it and show it to you. For men, it's recommended that they use white. They should be wearing something white. So this is what it looks like. Okay, they're going to wrap one side around the bottom and one side is going to go around the top of their body. They're going to wear men are going to wear sandals or slippers that do not cover most of your foot. Okay, so at minimum, your medial cuneiform bones and ankles should be exposed. So if you have one of those slippers that like cover half of your foot, it's not sufficient. But if you have, the normal flip-flop sandals, that's sufficient because most of it is exposed, your ankle is exposed, and the top part of here is exposed. Flip-flops may not be the best option because they're not that comfortable. So you want something that is comfortable to wear for a long period of time, but not something that covers too much of your foot. So make sure your ankles are uncovered for sure, and make sure this top part is mostly uncovered. This top part of your leg is mostly uncovered as well. Okay? And so men are not allowed to cover their feet. You cannot wear socks. You cannot wear shoes. You can only wear sandals or slippers that expose the ankle part and most of the top part of the body. You're not allowed to cover your face. You're not allowed to cover your hands. You're not allowed to cover your head. So men, no face, no hands, no head can be covered. So you don't wear gloves. You don't cover your face, and you don't cover your head. So you don't wear any cap. Cap has to come off. You do not cover your head at all the entire time when you're in the state of ihram, because that's part of your ihram clothing. Okay? Now, when it comes to women, stitched garments are fine. Okay, and the reason is that they're different due to modesty reasons. So now the thing is, people are like, what do you mean stitched? This is stitched. I see stitching here. Stitched means stitched together. So the reason is, if you look at all normal clothing that people wear, it's all stitched in order to accomplish what? To wrap around a part of your body. So you stitch it so it wraps around here. It wraps around the leg. Pants are stitched, right? So these are not stitched in the sense that you close them together so they wrap around part of the body. So they're very loose, and you have to manually wrap them around your body. So that's what it means by not having stitched garments. But for women, this would be very revealing. So instead, they have the exception where they can wear stitched garments that wrap around the body to cover them, and that is because of modesty reasons. Socks and shoes are also fine for women. So women can wear socks, they can wear shoes. So pretty much they have like no clothing restrictions compared to men. So men have to do all the clothing part of, they have to wear these two, and they cannot wear shoes. Women can wear shoes, they can wear socks, and they can wear their normal clothing. And they can wear their hijab. Well, they should be wearing the hijab, right? And but they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to cover their face, and they're not allowed to cover their hands. So you see the little bit difference. Men cannot cover face, hands, or head, or feet, and women cannot cover their face, cover their hands. They can cover their head. They can cover their feet. So like 2 and 2. Okay. All right. Here is a quick demonstration. So this guy, if you look at number 1, I'll show you what he's doing, just to make it clear for you. If I can continue to do this with the microphone. So what he's going to do is he's going to take this garment and he's going to use the bottom part to cover the bottom. So he goes like this, wraps this around here. There's many ways to do this. You can see, go like that, was what he's doing. And then he's going to fold this like this. And then put a belt around here, and then just roll this down, and that becomes good to go. So you can wear a belt, okay? Now, you have to be careful, okay? If you do exactly what I just did, and you didn't plan properly, if you look, your feet cannot stretch that much, right? So, to the left, okay. Your feet cannot stretch so much. So what you want to do is, when you actually do this, you want to make sure that you spread your feet a little bit before you tie this thing together, okay? Then you roll it down. Now you have that mobility where you can get this foot up, okay? If you ever needed to, kick someone, you could do a proper kick, but that's not the real reason. The real reason is when you're walking, if you get stuck, some people wrap this so tight that they're walking like this. If you get pushed from the back, you're going to fall straight on your face. So you don't want to do that, okay? So that's what you're going to do on the bottom part. You do the bottom part first, you put the belt. Then what happens is here, so you got the belt. What happens on the second one, these are some tips and tricks. Okay, so one more thing. So I really recommend getting either petroleum jelly, like Vaseline, or anti-chafing cream, and putting it in the middle of your thighs. Because what happens is, you're not supposed to wear any underwear underneath here. And what happens is, a lot of people, they get kind of like, chafing in their legs, and once you get it, it hurts. And it's not going to go away for like 3, 4, 5 days, right? So it's too late if you're like, oh, let me get some cream now. Well, you should have thought about that before. So I highly, highly recommend it. I got this advice from Sheikh Yasser Qadi, and then I'm like, you know what, let me try that one day, and it was amazing. Best advice ever, So do that, inshallah. Once that's done, you're going to move to the next step of the ihram, and that is, what happened to my picture? I don't know. I lost my picture, but I'll show you what it's done. So what's going to happen is, then you're going to cover like this. Most of the time, you're just going to be like this. You can just cover, and you just throw this over, and you're going to be walking like that for most of the time. And I'm going to show you when you're going to uncover. It's going to be a part where you're going to uncover your right arm. So once you uncover your right arm, it's going to be like this. Put this underneath, and you kind of throw this over like that, and it's just going to remain that way, okay? If you need to use a safety pin to keep it on, you can keep it on. So everyone is going to be like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million people going to be dressed like that. So you're not the only one who is dressed like that, okay? So that is the clothing for men. The women, they just wear the normal clothing. Inshallah. Yes, sir. If you have questions directly related to this, I'll take it, inshallah.
What kind of belt?
You can wear any belt you want. It doesn't matter if the belt has stitches. Because remember, that's a common question, it's a good question. Because remember, the reason for the stitching is so that your garment doesn't wrap around your body. So that's not what a belt is being used for. So it's okay if it has stitches or anything like that. I recommend a belt that has some storage compartment. right? So usually they have special type of belt you can get, or you just, even if you wear a fanny pack, like what I did was I got the thinnest fanny pack I could ever find, and it functions as a perfect belt. You just tie it around, really thin. You can keep your passport in there. You can keep your money in there because you have no pockets. So you want to definitely have something with pockets. Okay. I recommend you bring. That's a good question. I recommend you bring the belt from here because you are going to be wearing this by the time you get into Mecca, so you won't have a chance. Or you could buy it from the airport, Istanbul airport. But I recommend getting something good, because if you buy a big fanny pack, it's too big, it's sticking out, right? So you want something thin, or you want a belt with some storage compartment. And if not, some people, what they'll do is they wear a normal belt, and then they'll wear a thing around their neck which has a storage compartment. Or they'll wear one of those, they'll wear a backpack. But again, if you saw how it was when I covered this, it's not conducive to a backpack, right? And you don't want to wear this giant thing around your neck. So I prefer a belt, but you could do whichever one, inshallah. Okay, so questions. What about a woman who has her menstrual period, right? How is she going to perform Umrah? How is she going to perform Hajj? She can perform every single aspect of Hajj and Umrah except performing the Tawaf, which is going around the Kaaba and going inside the masjid. Right? So she can do all the other aspects of Hajj. She can go into ihram clothing. She can do this. She can do that. She's going to be doing all other parts. And I'll explain more details about this soon. Should a woman who has her menstrual period take a bath? That's a common question. Yes, she should still take a bath or make the wudu, even though she has her menstrual period, when she's going into the state of ihram. Is it allowed to wear a belt, a fanny pack, or a backpack? Yes, it is, because they're stitched, but they're not covering, they're not defeating the purpose of not wearing stitched clothing. Is it allowed for men to wear other colors? Yes, but they're not recommended to. So if you can't, for some reason, this gets soiled and you're like, I need to wear something else, you could wear another color. Is it allowed to wrap a jacket around your body? So you're not allowed to wear a jacket because you're wearing normal clothing that's stitched. But what if you had a jacket and you just wrapped it around because you're really cold inside the bus? You're allowed to do that because you're kind of using your jacket as a blanket, and you're wrapping it around your body. You're not actually putting your arms through the sleeves. Does wearing sunglasses count as covering your face? No. No. Question, people ask it, right? They say, well, you're covering part of your face. No. Does wearing a surgical face mask to protect against germs count as covering your face? Muslim scholars have differed on this. If it's a little tiny one, not a big deal. It's one of the bigger ones, unless you really, really need it for some reason, you should try to avoid it. You can't really avoid germs when you have 5 million people around you, okay? It's tough. Are you allowed to use a safety pin to pin your ihram to the back? Because it's going to keep falling down. And you're just going to keep throwing it back. It's going to keep falling down. You're going to pray. It's going to fall down. So are you allowed to use a safety pin? Yes, you are. Is the safety pin the greatest idea? No, I'm sure someone can. I've been thinking about other options. I'm sure there's a better way. But again, some people, they safety pin the entire thing. Like they put 20 safety pins around. It becomes like a garment. It's like stitching the garment shut. You're not supposed to have it shut. Nor are you supposed to let it just keep falling off and falling off. That's not the purpose either. So yeah, you could put like a safety pin or two. If someone uses a sleeping bag and zips it up, is that considered to be wrapping around in a garment? So you'd be surprised, actually. So Shaykh Yasir Qadi says that it is considered to be covering yourself up. I disagree with him on this point, and I've talked to him about it. So my opinion is that it does not. It's not a big deal if you zip up your sleeping bag, because it's not really covering. You're not wrapping yourself in something specifically. Maybe he's changed his opinion since then. Is it allowed to take shelter under a tree or tent or use an umbrella? Yes, because that's not covering your head. All right, so you use an umbrella, that's not considered, it's not on your head. What you'll find is people from the Shia school of thought, they will not actually even use an umbrella. In fact, their buses, many of their buses are open from the top because they don't believe that you can have any type of shade underneath, even in the bus. Is it allowed to cover the head or face with a blanket when sleeping? You should try not to. You should try avoid as much as you can. If you accidentally, while you're sleeping, you don't even know what's going on, and then you're one of those people who moves the blanket around. That's different. Otherwise, you're not supposed to do that. Okay. So that's ihram clothing so far. Okay, I'm going to look at the questions real quick online. This is not economy, this is the Airlink Essential Package. Sorry, I was just joking with the economy comment. Alright, we cannot see the fifth location hiding behind you. We cannot hear you. Okay, now you can hear. Okay, alhamdulillah. Alright, so, now let me turn this video off.
One thing about women, we already have something on our head, but can we wear a hat as well, like a sun visor or
Yep.
something? Yes?
Yes, women can wear another sun visor or something. They're allowed to cover their head, basically. So ihram, remember ihram is not just clothing. So now that you've prepared for ihram, you go into the state of ihram with the intention. You're not in ihram. You could wear all the clothing you want. You could cut the nails. You could do the prayer. You're not in ihram yet. You make the intention to go into ihram, to start your hajj or umrah, and then you're in ihram. So it's recommended to say aloud, Allah, I intend to perform hajj. Make it easy and accept it from me. Okay, that's what's intended. You can say it in Arabic. They've sent you some dua books and stuff like that, or you could just say it in English. Either one is fine. If you are afraid that you're going to forget, if you're afraid that you're sleeping while you're crossing the plane in that miqat boundary, you can make the intention earlier. So let's say you're super tired, you're 30 minutes away, they're telling you you're 30 minutes away from crossing over into that miqat time where you're supposed to make the intention. You say, you know what, I'm so tired, I need to sleep. Make the intention and go to sleep. You already made it earlier, it's fine. But you cannot make it later. So you need to make the intention after preparing. Don't make it too early. Don't make it in the airport because your plane may be delayed. If your plane is delayed, you got your clothing on, and then all of a sudden you're stuck for 1 week in the airport, you are stuck inside this clothing. You cannot cut your hair, you cannot cut your nails, you cannot until you get out. So don't do that. You can't just leave it. And people are like, oh, well, my plane was canceled, I just canceled. I'm just going to cancel my hajj. You can't just cancel your hajj. There's a very detailed process. So it's not something you just leave. Like in the middle of prayer, you could just be like, oh, I'm canceling my prayer. You could do that for prayer. You cannot do that for hajj and for umrah. So be careful about that. Okay, common questions. If you put on the ihram garments early, we talked about that, right? What happens? Good, put it on early, but don't make the intention. Okay? Put it on 24 hours, 20 hours early, 10 hours early. Don't make the intention until you're getting near the miqat area. Can the intention for ihram be made prior? We just said yes, it can be made a little bit prior. If someone forgot to say the intention out loud, as long as the intention was in your heart and you had the intention that you are doing this and you're starting your hajj, it'll count. So what you're going to do after you make the intention, you are going to start saying what's known as the talbiyah. Okay, the talbiyah phrase. You say, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. Which means, that's the transliteration. It means, here I come, Allah, here I come. Here I come, you have no partner. Here I come, all praise and blessings are yours. As well as the dominion, you have no partner. And it's recommended to keep reciting this during every transition. So once you've started, you're in ihram, you made the intention. Now you're going to keep on saying this, especially at every transition. What is a transition? Transition means every time you pray, after the end of every prayer, you should say it a few times. 1 time, 3 times. Every time you're sitting and you stand up to go walk somewhere, you transition from sitting to standing, you're going to say again, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, and you're going to say it out loud. What does this do? 1, you're remembering Allah, and 2, you're announcing to other people that you are in the state of performing hajj. So it makes it very clear. It reminds yourself, it reminds other people. When you stop somewhere and you sit down, you're going to say it again. So when you're on the bus, when you get off the bus, you're going to say it 1 more time. When you get back on the bus, you're going to say it 1 more time. So especially during transitions. And then you could say it, every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes, every 30 minutes. Just pick a time frame and just kind of say it a few times to remind yourself that you are now in a state of ihram and you are performing umrah or hajj at this time. Okay? You're supposed to say it loudly, but not so loud that you're annoying other people. So some people, they just go so loud, people are sleeping on the bus and they go, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Don't wake other people up, but you don't say it so quietly that you can't even hear yourself. So say it, you say it once or you say it 3 times. Okay? Common questions. Are women allowed to recite the talbiyah? Yes. There's some difference of opinion on that. But say it's not so loud, and don't recite it in such a beautifying voice that it becomes like a problem for people. That's generally not such a huge issue. All right, prohibitions in ihram. Now that you're in the state of ihram, what happens? Clothing. Men, you're not allowed to cover your head. Women and men, you're not allowed to cover your face. Men are not allowed to cover their feet. There is no trimming or shaving your hair at all for men or women. If you take a bath and some hair falls out, if you're itching and some hair comes out, if you're combing your hair and you know that you're not going to pull, like brush really hard and hair is going to come out, but just very lightly, and a little hair does come out, that is not considered trimming or shaving your hair. That's just hair falling out. It's okay. No clipping your nails. Okay? And that's it. That's while you're in ihram. Also, no perfume. You cannot wear perfume. If perfume remains after you put it on your body when you're preparing for ihram, that is fine. Anything that resembles perfume, like deodorant with a scent, or hand sanitizers, strawberry, cherry blossom hand sanitizer, or lotion, the vanilla, what do they call that? With vanilla sugar lotion or something like that, with strong scent. That resembles perfume because it smells really good. So you're not allowed to wear any of that stuff. Now, if you have anything that's unscented deodorant, unscented hand sanitizer, or hand sanitizer that smells like alcohol because it has alcohol in it, that's a scent, but it's not a very pleasant scent. It's not like a fragrance like what perfume is. So if it smells really nice and it has a fairly strong scent, that is considered in the category of perfume. You can't use it. If it's something like, my toothpaste smells good, so technically that could be perfume, but your toothpaste has a bunch of other chemicals in it, it doesn't really resemble like perfume. Okay, so that's kind of the criteria you can use when deciding all the products that you're going to be using in this day and age. Yes? Suntan lotion, again, so if it's got that strong smell to it, then you're not allowed to use it. If it's got like, something that's considered like perfume, it's got a strawberry scent or something like that. If it just got like that chemical smell, or the normal suntan lotion smell, that's not considered to be perfumey, right? So, what is that? And bug spray and all of that stuff, yeah. Before ihram, you could do anything. You're not only in ihram, this is a problem. If you want to spray yourself on your body and all that with the perfume scent, you could do it before. Same thing. You could put perfume on your body before ihram. You could put lotion, whatever else you want to put on your body, but not on your clothing. Yeah. You could brush your teeth with toothpaste. Again, this is like, I just came across, I don't even know, this never even dawned on me that toothpaste could potentially resemble perfume. But someone asked that question and I read it and I'm like, I guess I can see where you're coming from, but no, toothpaste does not resemble perfume. Okay. Yeah.
Basically, things that might be appealing to others, those are the scents we want to avoid.
Kind of. Or appealing to yourself, appealing to yourself or to others. No. So if women are in the hotel room, can they take their hijab off when they're in private? Absolutely. So regarding the hair falling and all that, no, you can't keep your hijab on for 48 hours, right? You're gonna need to sleep. So sleeping with your hijab on and all that, no. That's there's no need to take it to that level. You can itch your hair, you can comb your hair, you can do all of those things, okay? As long as you're not, if you know that when you brush your hair really hard, like all this hair comes down, then just brush it lightly if you need to, right? What else? Yeah, if you need to shower, you don't avoid showering because you're like, I know some hair is going to fall off. No. If you need to shower, you shower. There's no problem with that, inshallah, okay? No intimacy or intercourse while you're in a state of ihram. A very serious thing. And no hunting animals. Okay, so what is hunting of an animal? Hunting an animal, when you kill an insect, like a mosquito comes on you, so people are like, well, it's hunting an animal. You don't hunt insects. All right? So that is not considered to be hunting an animal, right? And if there's even a harmful animal, okay, if there's a scorpion, inshallah there's not going to be, but if there's a scorpion all of a sudden that comes in the desert because you went and decided to go in the desert for a walk or something, then yes, you can kill the scorpion. You're not hunting the scorpion. Okay, so this is talking about the animals of Makkah that are hunted in particular. Okay, not likely going to happen to you. So keep your bow and arrow at home. Okay. Also, there's no marriage contracts or proposals during Hajj when you're in Ihram. Okay, before Ihram or after Ihram, if you need this service done, I'm going to be with you inshallah in the group. We can take care of that for you. Okay, but you're not allowed to do that when you're in a state of Ihram. And remember, don't commit any sins. You have to be extra careful. So you're not supposed to use bad words, but when you're in Ihram, you especially should not be using bad words, right? No arguing with people. Don't get into arguments. I've seen too many people, they're in the middle of Hajj, they're in their Ihram, they're performing their Hajj, and they're getting into arguments. Something's going to happen, you can argue about it later. Finish your Hajj. Something happens in your hotel room, they did not give you enough, Keurig coffee cups in your hotel or something. Don't make a big deal out of it, right? You can resolve that later on, okay? So these small things, even look, if somebody pushes you, you're in front of the Kaaba, somebody pushes you, okay? Just let it go. Let it go, and maybe you could deal with it later, but you're not going to solve the problems of the ummah, and you're not going to get into a fight with the person, like right there while there's another million people going around. So be careful of arguing. Okay, other prohibitions. Do not violate, if you need to violate your ihram for a medical reason or something like that, you have some severe discomfort. Let's say, okay, you didn't get the anti-chafing cream, and it's so bad, like you can barely walk. You know what? Okay, you have a medical reason now. You're really in pain. You can barely walk now. You can go ahead and put underwear on and violate the rule of ihram because you have a medical reason now or some severe discomfort. You're like, you know what? I just have to do it. So you can do that, and you're gonna actually, you don't have to suffer. Okay, you don't have to be like, I'm gonna tough this out. But you have to offer a compensation, what's called a fidya, and I'll explain what that is, inshallah. Yeah. Use what? With gauze? Oh, okay, yeah, you can cover it with gauze. Once it already starts, right? Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah. So you can do that as well. All right, common questions. What if clothing gets soiled with urine or blood? What if you got your ihram garment? What do? You just clean it like you normally clean your clothing. Can I wash my clothing with soap? So again, you can, as long as it's not strongly scented, right? So if your clothes are smelling like scent, right? There's one brand that I use. I forget what it's called. No, it's a Mexican brand actually. My dad sells it. It's really good. It just makes your clothes smell amazing. I forgot what it's called now. But anyways, don't use something very strong. If it's very light soap, just put a little bit. It's going to be fine. If someone has an injury and needs to shave off some of their hair, let's say you have hair, it's mentioned in the Quran, if you have lice or some scalp issue or something, you can do that, but you have to pay the penalty still, okay? If someone accidentally violates ihram by covering their head, putting on perfume or trimming their nails or something like that, immediately rectify it, and you're gonna offer compensation. I'm gonna explain what that is. Does smoking a cigarette violate your ihram? Well, first of all, you should not be smoking in the first place. Because most scholars say it's prohibited. But technically it doesn't break your ihram, but you shouldn't be doing it it's like cussing, So when you arrive in Makkah, you get to Makkah, what's going to happen is around the Kaaba, there's a mosque that was built. I kind of showed you a picture of that. This is the Kaaba right there. Old picture, new picture. So you're going to go and you're going to pray in the masjid. When you arrive in Makkah, what we're going to do is we're going to arrive in Jeddah airport. When you get to Jeddah airport, we're going to go from there to Makkah by bus. We may be stuck in Jeddah airport for an hour, maybe 4 hours, maybe 6 hours. That's just the way it is. So mentally prepare yourself. It can take a very long time to get from Jeddah to Makkah, even though technically it's only supposed to be 45 minutes. It could take 5-6 hours. 23 hours. So it could be 23 hours, okay? So you want to prepare yourself mentally, and you don't lose it. Don't go crazy. Oh yeah, one very important thing I forgot to mention. Very, very important. For men, this ihram needs to be in your handbag. Because if you check your suitcase in, how are you going to put it on? Jeddah, when you land in Jeddah, you're inside that Pentagon. So it's too late. This needs to be in your handbag. Do not forget, do not put this in your luggage. This needs to be in your handbag, okay? Because you need to put it on. How are you going to put it on? You can't put it on after you're in Jeddah. You need to put it on before that. All right, so recommended to take a bath before you enter Mecca if possible. You go straight to the mosque. So you check in your hotel, and then you go straight to the masjid. Go to the masjid, take care of your suitcase and all that, and go to the masjid. When you get to the masjid, remember that every prayer you pray has a reward of 100,000 prayers in Mecca. Alhamdulillah. So you want to be praying a lot in Mecca. So some tips, practical tips. Keep your sandals in the bag. You're going to see some shoe racks there. Those are the most useless shoe racks in the world. Okay? Because you will not get your shoes back. So the shoe racks outside the masjid, okay? And then there's localized shoe racks that are right next to where you're going to be standing and praying. Maybe you could use those shoe racks, but I still wouldn't do it if I were you. You keep a bag with you and you keep your sandals with you, okay? Otherwise your sandals will be gone. And not on purpose, just, everyone else's sandals are gone. There's just too many people. So don't use shoe racks. Keep your sandals with you. Can menstruating women enter the sacred mosque? No, they should wait till afterwards, or they can, take the pill to skip their menstruation. Is it true that supplications are accepted when you first see the Kaaba? Not really. That's based upon a weak hadith. But when you see the Kaaba for the first time, you should say like, Subhanallah, it's amazing you see the Kaaba for the first time. Is there a special supplication to be made when you first look at the Kaaba? No. Say Subhanallah. Okay. Now, this is a top view of the Kaaba. So what's going to happen is we're going to perform what's called tawaf. Tawaf is where you go around the Kaaba 7 times. Okay. Now, if you look carefully, I'll give you a laser pointer here. If you look closely at the Kaaba, it's kind of rectangular, and then it's got this little semicircle thing right over there. Okay, that little semicircle is considered to be part of the Kaaba, inside the Kaaba. So you're going to walk around that little semicircle, technically, okay? And number one, let me explain to you all this. So this is kind of what the masjid looks like. This is the Kaaba. We're going to walk around here like this, in this direction. And this is Safa and Marwa hill, where I'm going to explain what happens here. So in this corner over here, there is the black stone, which is a marker over there. So what you're going to do is you're going to start your walking around the Kaaba from the black stone area. And you're going to walk around 7 times. So why are you doing this? You're doing this because when you walk around, you're making that the center point of your motion. Center point of your motion means that it's a center point of your life. Meaning this is the house of Allah, dedicated to worshipping Allah. Allah is the center of my life. That is the symbolism behind walking around. First thing you should do when you get into the masjid is you should go and perform that tawaf, which is walking around the Kaaba 7 times. It's considered to be the greeting that's performed. So instead of performing 2 units of prayer, like to welcome the mosque or to greet the mosque, you're not going to do that. You're going to greet the mosque with performing of the tawaf. And you're going to be in your clothing. So here's what needs to get done. Number 1, you need to be in a state of wudu or ghusl, if you need to make ghusl. Take a bath, meaning your body should be covered properly. So it's the same rules apply, right? It's like prayer. So let's put it this way. Ihram is like prayer. Tawaf is like prayer. Tawaf is walking around the Kaaba. It's like prayer in the sense that you need to have wudu, and it's like prayer in the sense that your body needs to be covered fully. So for men, they need to cover navel to knee, and for women, they need to cover, all of the other parts except face, hands, and feet. Recommended that your clothes and body be clean. There's an exception there, if necessary. And you don't perform it if you're menstruating or if you're in need of a bath. You need to make ghusl for men as well. If your period ends before the 8th, you're going to perform it. I'll explain that. Also, I have a book I recommend, it's a book that I wrote. All the other details are in there. So we were trying to have a 1-hour seminar, but we're going to have like a 1 hour and 20-minute or 30-minute seminar, and the rest of the details are here, and I'm with you if you have questions as well. So how do you perform tawaf? You're going to arrive at the Kaaba. The moment you see the Kaaba, you're going to stop the talbiyah. Talbiyah is labbaik Allahumma labbaik. You stop saying that when you get to the Kaaba. You don't say that while you're walking around the Kaaba. Now men are going to uncover their shoulder. Okay, so when they're doing this one, they're going to be in their clothing. Remember, this goes around, this is draped around. Both your shoulders are covered. Now you're going to uncover your right shoulder. And you're going to go this around. This is only when you're going to be walking around the Kaaba. So you uncover your shoulder, and there's a story. The background is that when the Prophet, peace be upon him, went to visit Mecca, after he was kicked out and he went to Medina, the idolaters who were there, they were looking at a distance, and they're like, you know what? We heard Medina has a place with diseases and illnesses. We heard that the Muslims became very weak, and they're not very strong anymore, and they become weaklings. So the Prophet, peace upon him, when he heard the rumor, he goes, what we're going to do is everyone is going to uncover their right arm, and we're going to show them that, hey, we're strong. So what you want to do is you want to do a few bicep curls maybe before you go for Umrah. So at least there's some, if it's just all flab, then you're not really fulfilling the purpose of uncovering the shoulder, so just keep it a little bit strong. So you uncover the right, so that's what you do. So he did that of uncovering the right shoulder, and he also, during the first 3 rounds, he jogged. Normally you walk around the Kaaba. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to jog. To show not only are we strong, we have stamina. You want to fight us? We're ready for the fight. And you're supposed to do that. So men are supposed to do that specifically. They uncover their right shoulder and they're going to jog for the first 3 rounds. Now in Hajj, you cannot jog because there's a million people around you. So you're not going to get anywhere. So what you can do is you can just kind of do a symbolic type of, just move your arms a little, do like a power walk or something. Get a little cardio, extra cardio or something in there to just fulfill the purpose of the background. Okay, you're going to stand on a line. Okay, now the line is basically, there's going to be the black stone. The black stone is in the corner of the Kaaba where I kind of hinted at to you. That black stone is your starting point for your tawaf. And if you imagine this is the Kaaba, okay, like this. This is that semicircle, right? This is the corner. The black stone is in the corner of the Kaaba building here. What's going to happen? People are walking around like this. They're walking around. What's going to happen? This is the black stone. So kind of diagonal to this black stone is like an imaginary line. There used to be a line, they removed the line. It's going to be like this line. Imagine there's a line here, right? It doesn't have to be exact. You could be somewhere here, somewhere here. What you're going to do is, let's say you enter from the masjid over here. You see the Kaaba. Somehow you need to get over here where you're in line with the black stone. You're parallel to the black stone. So you're going to somehow walk over here. Now again, they're going like this. So if you walk like this, you're going against traffic. You probably want to walk around, join the circle, and then you get here. When you get here, now you're parallel. Now you're going to start your first round. Okay? When you start your first round, what you're going to do is you're going to stand on this kind of imaginary line, which is parallel to the black stone. And you're going to either kiss the black stone, if you're close enough, which is not going to happen. And you're going to either touch it if you can't kiss it, which is also not going to happen. And if it does, I don't recommend it because your face might get smashed inside the black stone. Or you're going to gesture. You can gesture with one hand, you could gesture with 2 hands, or you could even raise your hands and say Allahu Akbar like you're starting prayer. And you're going to begin your tawaf from there. So now that you've made the gesture towards the black stone, you're going to start your tawaf and you're going to walk around the entire Kaaba with everyone else. For you guys it's the other way. So it is counterclockwise. This is clockwise. For me, you're going counterclockwise. Okay? So you're going to walk around clockwise. There we go. You're going to walk around this way. There we go, like this. And then here's the Kaaba right there. Perfect. So walking around like this. You started your round right here. This is the semicircular wall. So you're going to start from here, and what you're going to do while you're going through, you're just going to be making dua, you're going to be reading Quran, and you're going to be saying Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. So you're going to praise Allah, you're going to make dua, you're going to read Quran. You can choose whatever it is you want. I know some people get these dua books. This is round number 1, you do this. Round number 2, you do that. I recommend you just memorize some yourself and just say it from your heart, and whatever Quran you know, you say it. Because again, if you have this book in front of you and then you're trying to walk and you have millions of people, and it's not a great idea to have a book in front of you. Okay? So try to memorize some of these things, and I have some of them in here. So you're going to do that. Okay? When you start, you say Allahu Akbar, then you're going to walk counterclockwise. Men are going to increase their speed in the first 3 rounds, or at least pretend to increase their speed. And you're going to supplicate, make dua, you're going to remember Allah, make zikr, and you're going to recite Quran. Okay? So that's what's going to happen while you're going around. Good question. So we're going to come to all of that. We're going to come to it right now, inshallah. So now there's another corner. So this is the black stone corner. So there's 4 corners of the Kaaba, right? This is the black stone corner. You're going to go like this. So here's corner number 1, corner number 2, corner number 3, corner number 4. Corner number 4 is known as the Yemeni corner. Okay? Why is it in the Yemeni corner? Yemen is which direction from Mecca? It's south. So technically, it's like this. So it's south. So it's the southern corner. So when you get to the Yemeni corner, what you're going to do is, if you get close enough, which you're not going to do, you touch it. And if not, you're not going to gesture or anything. You're just going to start saying from here, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. This is the dua you make when you get to the corner, one time. Our Lord, give us good in this life and in the next life, and save us from the punishment of the fire. Okay, so that's the only specified thing that's mentioned in the tawaf. Now, once you get to back to the black stone line, corner number 1, you have finished 1 round. Okay, you're going to go make a second round, exact same thing. And when you get to this part, you're going to gesture the same way you gestured before. 1 hand, 2 hands, whatever it is. You're going to make a second round, do the same thing. When you get here, what do you say? رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا. Get here. Round number 2 is complete. You want to keep a counter with you to remember, unless you're really good at remembering, or you keep your finger, right? Or you just take out your phone and just put what I do is I just got like +1, you know? I take out my hand at +1 and remind me of where I am, or you can have a counter or something like that. All right, so every time you finish a circuit. You're going to repeat, you're going to keep track of how many you've done. As soon as you finish 7, what men are going to do, they already stopped jogging after the 3 rounds, or pretending. They're going to cover their shoulder again. So the right shoulder is only for the tawaf time. You recover your shoulder. That's what the black stone looks like up close. And that's what the Yemeni corner looks like over there. Black stone is the marker to begin. Yemeni corner used to be one of the original parts of the Kaaba during the time of the Prophet. So he used to touch it. So what we do is we just copy him and what he did. We're not going to go into details of the black stone. It's all in the book though if you need more details. Okay. Each round can potentially take 30 minutes or more. Okay. So if it's so crowded, you may have to do it on the 2nd floor. 2nd floor is really wide. All right. So if you do that, it can take a long time. So 30 times 7, 210 minutes. So it could be potentially long. Hopefully it's not that long, but you be mentally prepared. I like to say, prepare for the worst and make dua for the best, right? And if it turns out to be easier, you say, alhamdulillah, it wasn't that bad. Use a counting device. Try to stay far enough to avoid crowding or go on the upper level if necessary. Some people are like, well, it's so much shorter if you're all the way close to the Kaaba. But that's where all the crowd is. So you get smashed in there. So if you're someone who can handle like getting smashed, you can go ahead. You can go a little bit more into the crowd. If you're someone who doesn't like being smashed and pushed and all that, just move a little bit further away so there's less crowd. Don't go near the black stone. Okay, it's Hajj time. Do not try to go and touch the black stone. Some people do it and they come in, they're like, I'm doing it, man, I'm going to do it. And they sneak through people. You either will push other people and hurt them, or annoy them at least, or you will get yourself pushed and get yourself hurt, or at least annoyed. So there's no need to do it during Hajj time. Some other time, maybe when Hajj is done or something, if you're like, wow, it looks like it's pretty empty, or people are forming a single file line, which is very, very rare, but it happens, join the line and go ahead and do it, alhamdulillah, but don't harm people. Forgive accidental pushes and forgive ignorant pushes. So some people, like accidentally they pushed you, it's okay, not a big deal. Some people will purposely push you, okay, because they're ignorant. You got to forgive those too. Right? Because you'll know, you'll be like, that was no accident, man. That person just pushed me, just knocked my glasses right off my head. Right? And you're just like, you start getting, Remember, you are in the middle of an act of worship. You just let it go. It's okay. It's not a big deal. You're not going to rectify the person, right? You're going to give them a 2-minute lecture, and all of a sudden they're going to have life reformation. I'm never going to push anyone in my life ever again because I got an excellent reminder from this person. No, it's not going to change them. So there's no need to worry about that, right? And once you go for Umrah, you know, all the problems people complain about the Muslim community and stuff like that, you come back here and you're like, man, these people are actually pretty good, mashallah. Our community is really not that bad. Alhamdulillah. Should the prayer for greeting the mosque be done first? Like I said, no. First you do tawaf when you get there. Is it allowed to walk through the Hatim area? The Hatim is that semicircular wall area. You don't walk through it. You won't be able to anyways. It's so crowded you won't even get through it, but you walk around it. If you get tired, what do you do? Okay, so if you lose your wudu, what do you do? Right, because you have to have wudu for tawaf. You go make wudu and you come back and you resume from where you left off. What if you get tired, 3 rounds, and I need a break, man. Go to your hotel room, lie down, take a nap, make your wudu again, and go back and complete where you left off from. You can continue. Is it allowed to talk or use a cell phone? Technically, yes. But if you're having a conversation with someone for no reason, then you're supposed to be in an act of worship. Some people are like, man, look at me, check it out. I'm walking now, right now. I'm in the middle of, look, I can see the Kaaba here. You don't need to tell them while you're in the middle of that action. You could do that after it's done. So don't waste your time. Don't be talking. You can technically talk like, excuse me, can you please move a little on the left or something like that? Don't talk unnecessarily, right? You can, but you shouldn't unless you have to. If you lose your wudu, go make wudu again. How can someone speed up? I mentioned that already. So ramal is when the men need to speed up. You just kind of pretend and do some power walking with your hands. If someone doesn't remember how many rounds, what do they do? So if you think, hey, is this number 5 or number 6? I didn't follow the advice of using the counting machine. So what do? You go with what you're certain of, the lower number. If you're thinking 5 or 6, you go with 5. If you're like, it's got to be 4, 5, or 6, you're going to go with 4. And you do 3 more. Should you supplicate out loud? Should you make dua out loud? You can, but not so loud that you're bothering everyone else. It gets very, very annoying when people start making loud dua and you're trying to do your own dua in your head and you're trying to say it, and then all you hear is their supplication or their Quran. So don't be one of those people. Is it recommended to throw a flying kiss to the black stone since you're so far away? No. You're supposed to gesture, so you don't throw a flying kiss. I don't know why people do that. Can you wear sandals or shoes? So here's the thing. Can you wear sandals for men inside the Kaaba when you're walking around? And for women, could you potentially wear shoes? The answer is yes and no. Yes, in the sense of you're allowed to, but no in the sense of if you wear your normal shoes, you're like in a masjid. That's like wearing shoes in the masjid. Right? So technically no, because it's going to get dirty, but let's just say hypothetically you had brand new shoes. You just took them out of the box and you're like, I'm going to wear them to make it more comfortable for me to walk around the Kaaba because it's marble. It starts to hurt your feet afterwards. Can you wear them? Technically, yes. But just use your brain a little bit when you do it. Because when people see you wearing shoes, guess what? They're not going to know they're brand new, super clean shoes. So they'll be like, what are you doing wearing shoes? Because you're wearing shoes. It's like technically, think of it this way. Can you wear brand new shoes inside the masjid here in the carpet? Yeah, you can. Why not? Brand new, super clean. You can wear shoes, brand new shoes inside the masjid. Brand new sandals, you just took them out, you never worn them. You put them on, you come into the carpet in the masjid, you can pray with them. There's nothing wrong with that technically. But guess what's going to happen? People are going to be like, what are you doing? They're going to assume that these are not new shoes. So use a little bit common sense between, should I wear a slipper type of thing? Should I wear this? Should I wear that? And how do you keep attention off of yourself? You figure that out. If your feet do hurt, you can wear shoes. But don't make the place dirty. Don't wear used shoes or dirty shoes. So make sure they're super duper clean. If you need to stop during congregational prayer, the prayer starts. You still have 1 round left. No problem. Join the prayer. Continue where you left off. So while you're in the middle of prayer starts, everyone's going to stop right there and they're going to pray right there. And as soon as they're done, everyone's going to start moving. So that's the way it is. After tawaf is done, it's recommended you're going to perform 2 units of prayer. Okay? At the Station of Ibrahim. So Station of Ibrahim is this place where a stone that Prophet Ibrahim used to stand on is there. You don't have to be in front of it, and you don't even have to be in line with it. In fact, you're not likely going to ever be in line with it during Hajj time. So you could pray basically anywhere, 2 units of prayer after your tawaf is done. You're going to recite the same surah, Kafirun and Nas, Ikhlas in the first and second unit. Tip is, don't try to get near the Maqam Ibrahim. It is super crowded. You're going to get pushed or you're going to push someone else. That is tawaf. Okay? So far, so good. Second, when you finish tawaf, now what you're going to do is, I have online. We're giving shoestring bags for shoes to all the people who are going for Hajj from Airlink, alhamdulillah, so that's great. So you'll get the shoe bag, and shoestring is usually the best. So you could keep it on you, while you're praying, or keep it in front of you. It's really nice. All right, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to walk between Safa and Marwa hill. So there are two hills, Safa and Marwa, which I showed you in the previous diagram. They're right next to the Kaaba, just a little bit of a walk. So what you're going to do is you're going to perform what's called sa'i. And sa'i means going back and forth between these hills 7 times. Okay, 7 times. This is the story of Hajar and the Zamzam well. So the story is detailed. We have the whole story in the book. Some of you have heard the story before. You can read about it in detail. What we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth. Now, when you walk from Safa to Marwa, it counts as 1 trip. When you go from Marwa to Safa back, it counts as trip number 2. So 7 times doesn't mean 7 times round trip. 7 times one way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you start here, you end here on your 7th round. Okay? This is what it looks like today. I just lost it. This is what it looks like. I don't know why it keeps skipping, but I'm getting to that, yeah. So this is what it looks like in a diagram. Now just watch, it's only going to stay for a second. That's what it looks like. Look at a giant hallway. Oh, now it's staying. Alhamdulillah. Looks like a giant hallway. There's different floors actually now. So you're going to be walking through a giant hallway, and as you can see, there's fans there, there's air conditioning there. It's not that difficult. The most difficult part is it really hurts your feet because it's marble. So you're walking on marble. All right? You're going to be barefoot, but again, you could wear something if you wanted to. It's part of the masjid, exactly. So you can wear thick leather socks, which would be good for women. Men cannot wear that, right? Because they have to wear either barefoot or their sandals, right? Only. Huh? Women can wear the brand new shoes as well, but just keep in mind, someone might look at you, so just be careful about that. Yeah. But I've done it once, and it worked, but just be careful about that. So prerequisites, you have to. It's recommended to have wudu. Do you remember tawaf? Is it recommended to have wudu? You have to. Here, recommended. Women who have their period, it's recommended that they skip sa'i if they skip their tawaf. But if they perform their tawaf and then their period started, which is very rare, but they can perform sa'i actually. So you don't have to have wudu, and you don't have to be, women can have a menstrual period while performing sa'i, because it's not the same as tawaf, okay? How do you do this? So, if you are performing the other 2 types of Hajj, which are more difficult, which we're not going to do, don't worry about that. That's for them. You're going to go up to Safa hill. It's not even a hill anymore. It's like covered in marble now. You're going to see part of the hill. You walk up part of what used to be the hill, and you're going to ascend. You're going to face towards the Kaaba. You're going to be able to see the Kaaba from there. You're going to face towards the Kaaba, and you're going to say, Allahu Akbar. Okay? It's like the way you start your prayer. When you say Allahu Akbar, you're going to start making dua. You're going to start supplicating. So you're going to make dua, and you're going to start walking all the way to the other hill. You're going to do the exact same thing you did in tawaf. Dua, zikr, recitation of Quran. That's all you're going to do. Okay? Until you get to the other side, you're going to ascend. You're going to ascend to the other hill and do the same thing. Now, there's one place where there are 2 green markers, and you will tell. I can't always notice the green markers, but you'll see 2 green markers. If you don't see it, you're going to see that's the part where people are running. There's a small portion where people are running through. Let me see if I can get back to that slide before. Give me 20 minutes, inshallah. Yeah, 20 minutes, inshallah. You see where it says the 2 green slopes? Those are the markers. So that's how long it is. It's a short span, right? You're supposed to run between those 2 markers. So you're on the hill, you start walking, Once you get to that first marker, you run until the second one. And then you continue walking. Okay, and you go all the way up the hill. On the way back, same thing. Once you hit, on the way back, you hit the green light, you start running until you get to the second part. Why is that? Because Hajar, this in the story, what happened was she couldn't see her son. This is the most probable story. She couldn't see her son, so she ran between those parts so that she could see her son while she was walking and searching for help. Okay. Let me get back there. So you're gonna run. Now again, you don't have to run. You can jog, and if you can't, you can just walk through it. If it's hard for you. But she ran through this area due to visibility, so you're supposed to run or jog between that. Don't fall, okay? If you're running, you're like, I'm going to do it fast, and then you fall on your face. That's really bad, because you're not going to complete the rest of it. And then you go and you ascend Marwa, face the Kaaba again, make dua, supplicate, go back. You're going to go back and forth 7 times. All right? Each time one trip is finished. You're going to repeat, you're going to go 7 times, make dua, and you're done. Any dua, any Quran, anything is also fine. Now it's pretty long. It's like 2.1, I have in the book measurement. I think it's 2.1 kilometers or something like that. So you may want to start practicing walking from now. Right? Every day I would recommend try walking a mile to get yourself in the habit of walking. Otherwise, you won't have the stamina. Oh, there it is. 1.3 miles, 2.1 kilometers. Each, they're 980 feet apart. So prepare. Be careful when you're descending, when you're going down. Be careful. You don't want to fall down. Okay, so be careful. It's not that steep, but you still want to be careful because people can push you from the back because there's so many people. If it's very crowded, you can go to the upper levels or different levels, whichever one has the least people. Shoot. No. The total trip is 1.3 miles. No. Alhamdulillah. No. The total, all 7 becomes 1.3 miles, which is still not that bad, Alhamdulillah. It's really not that bad, but I would recommend try do your mile a day walk. It gets you into the habit of it, inshallah. Some scholars say no, but again, the woman who was running in the first place was a woman. So for me, I'm like, I don't understand that. I think they should just jog at least, So yeah, should the right shoulder be uncovered for men? Yes or no? Nope, because remember, you recover it as soon as your tawaf is done. That's only for tawaf. Your shoulder is going to be covered. So you're going to be wearing this, both shoulders covered. Okay? Some people are like, well, that guy's got his shoulder uncovered. It's because he doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't attend the Hajj seminar. Okay? He needs to get the book. All right? So it's not the case. If a person is very tired after tawaf, so you made tawaf and you're like, it went great, but now I got to do another 7, of sa'i, go back and forth. If you're tired, take a break. You can come back, no problem. If you need to stop during congregational prayer, you stop, pray, continue where you left off.
Can you pray in that Safa Marwa thing?
Yes, you can pray. Yeah. So you're in the middle of it, prayer starts, everyone's going to pray right there. Yeah. Because it's the part of the masjid, yeah. Is it allowed to talk? Same as tawaf. Don't talk unnecessarily. You can talk if you need to. Now, you're done with that. Release from ihram, yes. So you're going to be stuck in this clothing until you finish your sa'i. The moment you finish your sa'i, your umrah will be done. So you want to finish your umrah as soon as possible so you can get out of this clothing as well. So you're going to be doing tamattu', combining umrah and hajj together. So tamattu' basically means we're doing umrah right now, but we're counting that umrah as part of our hajj, so we're merging it in. And now that you've just finished, so umrah is just tawaf and sa'i. So you went around the Kaaba, tawaf, you did sa'i back and forth between Safa and Marwa, you're done. Your umrah is pretty much done. So now you can get out of your clothes. How do you get out of your clothes? You shave or trim your hair. Okay? Now when you perform umrah, for men, shaving is normally better. But in hajj, it's not. Why? Because you're about to do another umrah. You're going to do another tawaf. You're going to be in ihram again, and you're going to get out a second time. So if you shave your head now, and you shave your head 3 days later again, there's really nothing to shave. So you're not really shaving much. So this one, it's better, you trim your hair. You can trim it whatever you want. And then when it comes to hajj, removing your ihram, you're going to shave your head that time. Okay? But if you want to shave twice, you can shave twice. For women, they're going to trim their hair. Okay? So they're going to trim their hair from all around. You can trim 2 inches, 3 inches, 1 inch, something like that. Yeah. From all around. Trim from all around. Like trim the lengthwise, you know?
The ponytail together.
Yeah. From like, it's here and you cut from just the length of your hair. Yeah.
And during this initial Umrah, will you here will we do it together?
So yeah, in the booklet it says we will be doing it together. We will try to do it together. If we get separated, you need to know what to do. So be prepared, because it's very easy for groups to get separated, right? Because not only some go faster, there's such a crowd, it's hard to stay together. And the only people who stay together, they lock arms, you know? But you know the people who lock arms and make like a human chain, they actually cause the most damage to people. Because you get stuck in there and then they end up, you know, jamming other people. So we're not going to do the locking arm thing and all that stuff. We'll try to stay together, but we're probably going to break up, if we're large, into maybe 2 groups or 3 groups, and there's going to be a fast group and a slow group. But everyone should kind of know at least what to do a little bit on their own, okay? Yes.
Are we going to do Umrah right after we arrive from the...
Right.
Or can we wait and stay at your time?
If you're really tired, you can wait the next day. Otherwise, the intention is, if we're feeling okay, we have a little bit energy, we're going to go and do it, yeah. We'll see how we all feel, inshallah. So we'll try and go with the majority of the group. Yeah, trim your hair with scissors. So for the women, I recommend, there's no need to pay for that. You just bring your scissors and you trim your hair. For men, for trimming your hair, there's going to be barber shops. Guess where the barber shops are? There's Safa and Marwa. Where do you finish? You finish at Marwa. 7 rounds, right? So you're going to finish right at Marwa. That's usually where the barber shops are. So right when you come out, everyone's at Marwa for one reason. The barber shop's usually there. So if they're closed, then they're going to be somewhere a little bit further. So yeah.
I understand from other religions that they have barbershops at the hotel,
They do.
and that women can go back to the
They can do that. Yep. Yeah.
So we can leave that long then?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be immediate. No. You can cut your hair 1 hour later if you need to, but you can't get out of ihram until you cut your hair.
I apologize.
No problem.
For cutting my hair, for example, I could just cut it, or do I cut the whole thing? Or can I,
You-
for example, can I get the strands underneath and cut it? Or do I grab all my
It's not one strand. It's you grab all your hair.
all my hair?
You grab all your hair. So evenly across the board, you're going to be trimming basically a little bit, like a small amount. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So, less time. Okay. A fingertip length, right, from all around suffices. Women don't shave; they can trim their hair. This is like saying Assalamu alaikum in your prayer, right? Your prayer ends when you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Shaving your head is the end of your Umrah. Okay, so you're going to be out of your ihram. Your Umrah is now complete. Okay, Umrah is complete. You change your clothes. You could put on your perfume. You could do, cut your nails, whatever you need to do. Okay, so don't cut your hair inside the mosque. Okay, this is pretty common sense. But if you brought your scissors and you're like, I'm going to cut my hair inside the mosque, you're dirtying the mosque. So don't do that. There are barbers nearby. It's fine to cut. Is it okay to cut a few strands? You should cut from around everywhere, at least the fingertip length. Okay, so now that you're done, we're going to wait. And then we're going to wait till the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. When that date comes, that's going to be day 1 of Hajj. Okay, so what's going to happen now? Yes. Okay, so the question is, should we do multiple Umrahs? You should not. So you're not supposed to do multiple Umrahs, actually. And the short answer is, because the Sahaba didn't do that, and the Prophet didn't do that. It's a short answer, okay? So some people, they're like, I did one Umrah, I'm going to go outside Mecca, and I'm going to come back and do another Umrah. You're not supposed to do that. So some people do it, but you're not really, there's not like you're allowed to, but you're not really supposed to. So I don't recommend you do that, inshallah, okay? Yeah, if you wanted to anyways, yes, there are buses that will take you, or you can get a taxi and go and do it yourself. You can take a taxi outside. Yeah. So some people will leave Mecca, they'll leave outside the border of Mecca and then go do another Umrah. Go back into Ihram again, come back, perform another Umrah. But you're not really supposed to do that. You're supposed to perform tawaf while you're there. You just keep on performing more tawafs and more prayers. You're not really supposed to, but if you wanted to, you can, inshallah. Now, day one, Hajj is starting now. Official Hajj, Umrah is over. You're doing tamattu, so you're gonna go back into Ihram on the 8th day. So after sunrise on the 8th day, you're gonna prepare for Ihram. If you remember everything about preparing, you're gonna cut your nails again. If you know they're probably short anyways, but you can cut them again. You're gonna shave what you need to shave. You're gonna put some perfume on your body. You're gonna put the clothing on. You're going to make wudu. You're going to do 2 units of prayer, and then you're going to make the intention. Right? You have the intention there. Oh, you already made the intention, but yeah. So now you're going to be in Ihram for 48 hours. So you may want to keep a second pair in case this gets dirty, a backup pair or something like that. And we're going to go to Mina. Mina is a place that is right, it's technically inside Mecca. It's a little bit distance from where the Kaaba is. Okay? We're going to go to Mina, and that's known as like the tent city. It's like full of tents. That's where you're going to be staying for a long time. Why are you there? Because that's where Prophet Ibrahim was told to sacrifice his son, and the whole story regarding that is in the book, and some of you know it. There are 3 markers there. They're known as the Jamarat or Jamra. 3 of them. These are the place where Prophet Ibrahim was throwing the stones at Shaitan to get rid of the temptation of him tempting him to say, don't listen to Allah, just do whatever you feel like. So we commemorate that. There's a masjid there called Masjid al-Khayf in Mina. This is a place where the Prophet, peace upon him, prayed. If you can go and pray there, but it's extremely difficult to get in, and you don't need to. And you probably will get lost, and it'll be very hard to find you. So this is your first Hajj. I don't recommend you do that. Okay, you could do it the next time maybe. Arrive at Mina. So you want to, when you get into your Ihram, you're gonna jump on the bus or the train. We're probably gonna be in a train. We're gonna go to Mina. Now, train to Mina probably should take about 5-10 minutes. It could potentially take 2 to 3 hours due to crowding. So everything can take longer. So if it's like, this is a 5-minute journey by train. No, in Hajj, it becomes a 3-hour journey or a 1-hour journey. Just prepare for the worst, okay? You're going to arrive at Mina before noontime. You're going to be in your Ihram just like you were before. While you're in Mina, throughout all these days when you're at Mina, you're going to shorten your prayers during Hajj. So you're going to be praying for Zuhr, 2 units, for Asr, 2 units, for Isha, 2 units, and for Maghrib, 1.5 units? No, you still pray 3, okay? Just want to make sure. Some people are like, Fajr, can I do 1? No, keep it at 2. All right, so always shorten your prayers. You're going to just stay the day in Mina. That's all you're going to do. Just you'll kind of hang out, make some dua, read some Quran, you can talk to your friends, eat some food, and just try and, keep it serious, but you're there as an act of worship. That's all you're going to do. You're just going to pray. You're just going to just kind of chill out at Mina. That's day 1 of Hajj. So day 1, all you're doing is you're shortening your prayers, and you're just kind of chilling out at Mina. That's all you're going to do. Nothing else to do. Yeah. Keep second pair of Ihram if you need a second pair of Ihram. Yeah. No. You don't go back to the miqat outside the borders. No, you don't go outside the Pentagon again. No, because you already did it. You came in one time, and you're combining Hajj into Umrah. You're combining them together in tamattu, so that's why you don't need to go out again. Okay, so you're just going to stay the day there, go to sleep, wake up. All right, so these are the locations. That's Mecca. Mecca, we're going to go to Mina. Okay, so step 1, from Mecca, we did our Umrah, we chill out for a little while, stay in Mecca a few days. We're going to go to Mina. Step 2. From Mina, in the next day, we're going to Muzdalifah, then we're going to Arafat. No, sorry, my mistake. Going to Mecca to Mina, Mina to Arafat. On the way back from Arafat to Mina, we're going to stop in Muzdalifah and just spend the night. Then we're going to go back to Mina. We're going to stay in Mina a lot of time. Go visit Mecca, do 1 more tawaf, hang out in Mina the rest of the time. So where are we most of the time? We're in Mina. Where are we the shortest amount of time? Arafat, we're only there for a few hours. The far one, we're there for a few hours. Muzdalifah, what are we doing in Muzdalifah? We just get there and we go to sleep. Simple as that. So this is kind of the easy way to remember this, right? Mina is where all the tents are. Massive tents, because you're going to stay there for a few days. Arafat, you're there for a few hours, right? Some people have tents, like the Americans, right? A lot of people, they don't even have tents probably, like most of the world, and because they're only there for a few hours. Why pitch a tent? Unless you're, American and we need our luxury, And Muzdalifah, you're going to go and there's no tent. All you're going to do is sleep. You're going to sleep under the stars in your sleeping bag. And some VIP people may get a tent, but you Americans are all with the rest of the world in just being outside, sleeping on the floor. Okay? And Mina, we got the really nice tents. We got the AC and all that stuff there. Yes. Yeah, you need a sleeping bag. A blanket, sleeping bag, you should bring that with you. Or you could buy it there before you go for Hajj. So honestly, like personally, last time I'm not even bringing my sleeping bag. I'm just gonna buy it from the store when I get there. So I have less to pack. If you want to bring, you have a nice sleeping bag. It's got like gel cushion or whatever it is. You bring it with you. They have sleeping bags you could buy in the store, but they're not like the highest quality. So it depends on what you need. Yeah. You don't have what? A tent in Muzdalifah? No. Arafat, I think there's a tent. Yeah. Let's check with brother Khalid. I'm pretty sure there'll be a tent. Tent in Arafat. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just asking him this question, if he's still there. Okay. So was there another question?
So you said there is no high quality sleeping bag. That means you should carry a sleeping bag?
Again, it depends on how picky you are. Okay, I'm gonna be straightforward. Some people they're like, a certain type of plastic I'm allergic to, or I don't know, material or something like that. Otherwise, you can get it. It's up to you. If you don't mind packing big and carrying your suitcase and all that, that's fine. I'm someone who likes to just pack as lightly as possible. It depends on your personal preference. Okay, yeah. That's in Arafat. Yeah. But you can't get close anymore to that. No. You're not going to get there anymore. All right. So that's day one. So day one is done. Day 2, 9th of Dhul Hijjah now. Okay. So what do you do day 1? You just stayed in Mina. Day 2, you're going to do this. You're going to go to Arafat on day 2. Where are you right now? You're at Mina. You're going to go all the way to Arafat. It's known as Arafah or Arafat, 2 pronunciations. This is where the Prophet peace upon him gave his farewell sermon. There's a mountain there called the Mountain of Mercy. You do not need to climb the mountain. You probably won't be able to climb the mountain because it's full of people, and there's no need to actually do it anyways. You're going to pray Fajr in Mina, and then you're going to leave before noontime, and you're going to arrive before sunset at Arafat. You have to arrive before sunset, right? So inshallah you will. When you get there, you're going to shorten and combine your Zuhr and Asr prayers during the time of Zuhr. So you should be arriving around the time of Zuhr. When you get there, not only are you shortening your prayers in Mina, right? But you're praying all 5. When you get to Arafat, you're going to shorten your Zuhr prayer to 2, Asr prayer to 2, and you're going to pray them together back to back in the time of Zuhr time. If you get there late for some reason and we arrive at Asr time, you're going to do both in Asr time. Okay? And then the reason for that is because all we're going to do here is make dua. So we don't have to be worried about the prayer. The prayer gets done early, so we're just going to make dua here. This is the most important part of Hajj. The most important part of Hajj is Arafat, and it is on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah here. If you're late, it's going to be during Asr time, so you can focus on making dua. All right? What you're going to do here, you're going to remember Allah, you're going to make dua. This is the time to make the most dua. Okay? You don't just read Quran. You make dua, as much dua as you possibly can. Okay? At Arafah, he's just told us that there will be a tent in Arafat. All right? Are the men and women separated? I think they might be by tent. I'm pretty sure they will be. So you're just going to make dua here. Okay? It's recommended to sometimes say talbiyah, because you're still in ihram. You still say sometimes, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, once or twice or 3 times, and then you continue making dua as much as you can. It's preferable to stand up, raise your hands, face the qibla, and make dua. If you can't do that, you can sit down and make dua. If you can't face the qibla for whatever reason, let's just say you're like, I'm so tired, I'm just going to lie down in my tent on my soft cushion bed of the floor, but I'm going to keep making dua. Do that. You can do that. Keep making dua the whole time. You can take breaks. So you're like, you know what, I've been making dua for 45 minutes straight. I'm not used to this. I need a break. Let me go eat some yogurt. Let me go talk to some friends. I'm going crazy. Socialize 15 minutes. Go back to dua again. Okay? Continue until sunset at Arafat. Okay? It may take up to 10 hours to get to Arafat by train. Okay, so technically it shouldn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes, but this is Hajj. So be ready, mentally prepared. Okay, it could take a very long time to get there. If you're late, you will lose your Hajj. So inshallah, no one's going to be late, right? If you make it really, really late, if you don't make it to Arafat, you've missed Hajj. So, inshallah, that's not going to happen. Worst case scenario though, like if that ever does happen, you're going to see me, you can follow me, I'm just going to jump off the train and I'm just going to walk it. And we're just going to get there. But inshallah, that's not going to happen. Yeah.
Can we walk from Mina to Arafat?
So you can walk. I don't know if the tour, if Airlink wants you to walk, because you might get lost. That's the only concern, right? But we'll ask them. You're allowed to walk. So if they're okay logistically and they say, yeah, it's okay if you walk, you can walk it.
How many miles?
It's a little bit long though. So Mina to Arafat is quite long. It's a few miles. It's a few miles. But if you're good, you're okay, and it's going to be super hot. Keep in mind. If you're good with walking, alhamdulillah, should be okay. So, all right. Don't waste time socializing. That's not the time for it. You can socialize at Mina. You're socializing at Muzdalifah. Don't socialize so much at Arafat. The Prophet, peace be upon him, stopped at Muzdalifah. So on the way back to Mina, you stop at Muzdalifah for the night. Okay, so we're going to stop there. You're going to leave Arafah after sunset. You're not going to pray Maghrib there. You're going to go back to Muzdalifah, and when you get to Muzdalifah on the way back, you're going to pray your Maghrib and Isha combined in Muzdalifah at the time of Isha. Okay? You're going to wait till Isha time. If you're early, you're going to delay, and you're going to wait. So you're like, we made it at Maghrib time. It's okay. You're going to pray at Isha time anyways. If you're late past midnight, you should just pray on the way. That's not likely going to happen. What are you supposed to do at Muzdalifah? You're supposed to sleep. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. Some people are like, I'm going to stay up, I'm going to pray extra at night. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to sleep because you're going to need your rest. So this is the goal of Muzdalifah, is you're supposed to sleep. So do what you're supposed to do. Otherwise you're going to be tired the next day. All right. If someone finds it very difficult to stay at Muzdalifah, they're very tired, they're like, look, I just need to get back to my tent in Mina, and I just need the air conditioning, and I just need to get out of here. If you are injured, or if you're old, or if you're sick, you're allowed to skip Muzdalifah. Okay? If you're not, you should not skip it. But if you have an excuse, you can skip Muzdalifah. Oh, we are not using the train. We are using buses on special Taraddud route, which is very fast. Okay, so we're not using the train, we're using the buses, inshallah, but it's a special route.
Less than 10 hours?
Inshallah. Inshallah. All right. You're going to hear a lot of inshallahs in Saudi. Okay. So if someone finds great difficulty in staying, like I said, they can skip that if needed to. So day 2 is done. You slept. You woke up. So we're in day 3. You're going to pray Fajr at Muzdalifah. Okay, you wake up, you pray Fajr. You're going to remember Allah until sunrise or before sunrise. And then if it's convenient, go and collect some stones. Little tiny pebbles. Search for them over here. You don't have to get them from here, but you collect 7 or you collect 49. And you're going to see why that is. Okay. You're going to leave for Mina. So you leave Muzdalifah, you wake up, you pray, and you're going to go back to Mina. That's all you're going to do. Okay? So is it recommended to wash your pebbles? No, you don't need to wash them unless they're dirty. What type of pebbles? Any type of small pebble. Not like a little tiny thing that you can barely throw, and not like a giant rock that's going to hit someone in the head. Just a pebble that you can potentially throw. Day 3, 10th of Dhul Hijjah, you are going to go to the Jamarat, which is the stoning markers. There's 3 of them. Okay, I'm going to show you what they look like in a moment. There's 3, but today you're only going to hit 1 of them. You're going to go to the large one. And it's just known as the large one because it's closer to the Kaaba. It's not actually larger. Maybe it's larger, I'm not sure. You can barely tell. Recommended to do this between sunrise and noon time. You can potentially do it between noon and sunset if there's too much of a crowd. You should not, unless you have an excuse, do it between sunset and dawn time. Unless people are very elderly and there's too much of a crowd, you can go into this category. You're going to arrive at the marker. You're going to stop saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik. You're going to take 7 of your pebbles that you collected and you're going to throw them. And each time you throw them, you're going to say Allahu Akbar. You throw them at the stone wall. Okay? It's a symbolic gesture like Prophet Ibrahim did. If you're weak or ill, you can give your pebbles to someone else to throw them on your behalf. This is what they look like. Okay? There's like 5 levels. Some of them you might be on the lower level. This is the upper level. So you see that? You're going to throw it at that. That's what it used to look like in the olden times, and now they expanded it. So as you can tell, people were probably missing. If I couldn't throw it, the aim wasn't so good, so they made it bigger. You cannot miss this one, okay? So it shouldn't be that difficult to get done. This is a giant complex structure that was built by, I think, a German company. So you're gonna like walk up there, you're gonna go in, you're gonna be directed towards a certain level, and you're just gonna throw at the thing. So this is very easy now because it's well planned and good logistics. If it's crowded, go to another level. Don't miss throw, because if you miss throw, what's going to happen? Don't miss the wall, first of all, and don't hit other people in the head. So get close and make sure you can hit. Otherwise, you're going to be hitting other people in the head. If you throw 2 pebbles at once, it counts as 1. So don't throw 2. Don't take like, oh, I'm going to get all 7. You do 1. You're supposed to do it 7 times. 1 pebble each. Can the people who are weak and ill who left Muzdalifah early throw their pebbles before sunrise? Ask me about that and I'll tell you later. Inshallah. Now, we just threw the 1 marker on the 10th day. Now, we are doing tamattu', so we have to sacrifice an animal. You will pay the money to sacrifice an animal, and what you're doing is you're thanking Allah for being able to combine Umrah and Hajj together in one act of worship, and you got to take your clothes off for the men. So we're thanking Allah for that, so we're going to perform a sacrifice of an animal. That's going to be done by simply paying a receipt. It's going to be done for you. You pay like a company that's there, and they're going to do all the sacrifice of the animals for you. You do 1 goat, 1 sheep, 1 lamb, or 1/7 of a camel or a cow. That food gets distributed to people who are in need. You pay the fee and it gets done for you. Once that's done, it's automatically done. You don't even know when it finishes. You can assume that it gets done for you, okay? Because we're already paying the fee. You're going to go and shave or trim your hair. So now if you're men, you're going to shave your head. You should. Or you can trim if you value your hair too much and you're just like, I can't follow the sunnah that much. I have to have my hair. It's okay. You're allowed to do that. And sisters are going to trim their hair. Now, when you do that, you have a partial release from ihram. So what have you done so far? You threw the pebbles, threw 7 pebbles at 1 marker. You have, what else did you do? You sacrificed, and you did you shaved the head, right? So now you have partial release from ihram. Your clothing is gone, everything else is gone, everything is done except intercourse. You cannot have intercourse. Okay, that's the only thing. So you can wear normal clothes, you can put your perfume back on, you can cut your nails, all of that stuff is fine. Everything allowed but intercourse. You change your clothes, you put your perfume on, put your deodorant on, whatever it is, you've been out of it for 48 hours or so. Now, you're going to perform tawaf afterwards. And are you going to wear this during your tawaf, or are you going to wear normal clothes? Normal clothes now. Why? Because you already got released from the ihram. So you're done. Ihram is done now. You're back in your normal clothes. So now, how do you know when your animal's sacrificed? You don't. You assume that it's been sacrificed. Now what are you going to do? You're going to do tawaf, another tawaf. This tawaf is known as tawaf ifada or tawaf ziyarah. Very, very important part of Hajj. We are still on day 3. This is all happening on day 3 is the day of Eid. Everyone else is celebrating and we're working. We're worshipping Allah this time. Okay, so this is the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. It's Eid day. Everyone else is doing that. Okay. Regular dress. You're going to go to Mecca now. We're in Mina. We're going to go to Mecca. We're going to perform tawaf. Okay, Makkah to Mina is actually very walkable. So if you wanted to walk, that one is easy to walk actually. So we're going to go to Makkah, and you perform this tawaf anytime between Fajr on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah and Asr on the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. And it's recommended to delay a little bit if it's too crowded. So what you're going to do is we're probably going to be monitoring traffic. We're going to be like, hey, it's looking like it's a good time. The crowd has died down. Okay, jump on the bus and we're going to go now. Okay, but you can do any time. You are not in your ihram clothing, right? So you're not going to uncover your shoulder shirt, because you're not in your ihram clothing, right? You're not going to jog the first 3 rounds because you're not in your ihram clothing. And you're going to do sa'i again between Safa and Marwa 7 times. But guess what? In this time, you're in your normal clothes. Okay? So the first time, you're in your ihram. And you're like, wait a minute. Some people are not wearing their ihram. What's wrong with them? They don't know what they're doing. No, they know what they're doing because they're actually doing a different one. They're not doing their umrah. So this is not umrah. The first time you were doing your umrah, you were in ihram. This time you're finishing your hajj tawaf, you're going to be in your normal clothes. Okay? Now you are fully released from ihram. You can understand the implication of that without specifying it. And you're going to return back to Mina. So in Mina, your job is to be in Mina between midnight to sunrise. You're supposed to spend the night in Mina. So you go back and you sleep in Mina. Some people are like, you know what, my Makkah hotel is so comfortable. I just want to stay in the hotel instead of in this tent. Okay, if you really need to like take a quick nap in the daytime in your Makkah hotel or something like that, if we have the hotel, you can do that, but don't spend the night there because you're not really supposed to do that, and it's not worth doing that. Okay. Brother Khalid said no walking, so we're not allowed to walk. So maybe to Makkah to Mina, I don't know. We'll ask them later about details, but I think he wants the group to be together. Okay, tips and questions. Recommend it at night or a day or 2 later so there's less crowding. So for that tawaf, if it's very crowded, maybe we do it at nighttime. Maybe we'll do it the next day, right? So that there's not such a big crowd. How does a menstruating woman do that? Well, she can't perform tawaf yet. So she's going to wait on this one until her menses are done, and then she's going to perform tawaf. If she can't until the plane is going to be leaving, then she has an exception and she can do it at that time. Now we're on day 4. Okay, you need 21 pebbles. You are supposed to grab how many pebbles? 7 or 49, right? So 49 because you need 21 today and you need 21 tomorrow. 21 and 21 makes 42 plus 7, 49. So we did 7 the first day, then 21, then 21, because we're drawing 7 at each one. The first day, we throw only 1. Second day, we're going to hit all 3. Third day, we're going to hit all 3. Okay, well, technically day 4. So if you don't have 21 pebbles, you're in Mina anyways, right? You're going to walk around, just collect some pebbles, okay? You head to the same stoning markers, Jamarat. What do? You do the same thing you did before, Zohr to sunset. You're allowed to do it from sunset to Fajr on this day. You're going to go start with the small one. Everyone knows which one to start with, the furthest one. You're going to throw 7. Say Allahu Akbar on each one. Next one, you move back. You're going to face the Qibla, face the direction of prayer, make a dua, any dua, and then move forward. Go to the next one, medium one, the middle one. Do the same thing, go back, make your dua. Go to the next one, the one that you had already stoned the previous day. Go there, stone, and you're going to leave. Don't make dua after you mark this one, you just leave. Go back to your tent. You're going to spend the night at Mina. So what are you doing for the rest of the day? Nothing. You just chill out, read Quran, make dua, read some books, talk to people, eat some food. You're just going to stay there in Mina. Day 5, you do exactly the same thing you did the previous day. What did you do the previous day? Collect the pebbles, throw the pebbles, 21 pebbles, 7 at each of the 3. And what do you do the rest of the day? Relax, pray, hang out, that's it. Okay? Are you combining prayers? It's Mina. Only combine in Muzdalifah and you combine in Arafat. Here you're going to pray all 5 prayers, but you're shortening them. Shortening to 2. Okay? Once you're done, okay, 12th of Dhul Hijjah, you're going to leave before sunset. If you don't leave before sunset, you have to stay another day and throw another 21 pebbles. So when we tell you to leave with us, you leave with us, inshallah. Otherwise, you're stuck and you do another day. Day 6 is optional. If you wanted to, you can stay. Probably, 80% or 90% or maybe 95% of people leave. Maybe even 99% of people leave. They don't stay the 6th day. But if you do, you're going to do the same thing as you did the previous day. Now you're almost done. Your Hajj is pretty much done. The last thing in Hajj is, before you leave Mecca, before you leave to go back on your airplane and you're leaving Mecca, or on your bus and you're going to Medina, you are going to perform one more tawaf. And that tawaf is known as Tawaf al-Wada' or Tawaf al-Sadr, meaning the farewell tawaf, because you're leaving Mecca. Same as the previous tawaf, but it's only tawaf. There is no sa'i. You're not going to go between the hills of Safa and Marwa. Only tawaf 7 times. Which clothing? Normal clothing. You don't change into ihram, you don't do anything. Okay? So by now, hopefully you understand the difference between tawaf, 7 times around the Kaaba, and umrah. Umrah is tawaf and sa'i combined. Okay? In ihram. Tawaf doesn't have to be in ihram. You can just tawaf in your normal clothing 7 times at any time. Okay? When you're in Mecca. Alright? That's the last thing that you're going to do before you leave. Hajj is complete. Make the intention to change your life. Okay? If you are with the group and some people are delayed after you performed your tawaf, it's okay. You tried your best to make it the last thing. Is it required to check out of your hotel before? No. What should a woman do during her period? I mentioned that already. Is it allowed to delay the tawaf until just before you leave Mecca? Yeah, I mentioned that already. If someone leaves Mecca or Medina and then plans to return back soon, talk to me. Mistakes and penalties. So if you make a mistake, some mistakes can invalidate your Hajj. Some mistakes will require that you have to do a penalty, and some mistakes are overlooked. So if you miss Arafat, and you're like, you know what, I'm sleeping in my tent in Mina and I didn't wake up and no one woke me up, you missed the entire Arafat. You have invalidated your Hajj. Okay? That's a big mistake. Don't do that. If you, for example, if you violate ihram intentionally or by accident or because you had some problem, for example, let's say you covered your head, right? Either you're going to sacrifice an animal in Mecca as a penalty, or you're going to give charity. Charity is 6 meals to the poor. You're going to buy 6 meals and you're going to give them to the poor. Or you just pay and someone will do it for you, right? So there are major mistakes, you're going to sacrifice an animal. Minor mistakes, you're going to give the 6 meals in charity to the poor. So there's a bunch of details. If you ever do make a mistake, based upon the rules that I've told you, come and talk to me and say, this is what I did, what happens? Some small things may be overlooked, some little bit bigger things you need to give charity, and really big things you need to sacrifice an animal, and huge things can invalidate your Hajj. Inshallah, that's not going to happen. Okay? So if you put on perfume, like I accidentally put on deodorant, I wasn't thinking, my mind wasn't functioning, or I accidentally, I started cutting my nails. I got so used to it, you know. What do? I will help you with all of those things, inshallah ta'ala. And wow, subhanallah, time flew by. So we're done. I'm trying to get a faster click rate here, but it's not going. Okay, anyways, we are done, so I will take questions. Anyone has questions? Yes?
Yes, on our WhatsApp group, the communication is going to be like really good.
Inshallah, it's going to be really good. And if you have like a personal question or something, you can just direct message me. Inshallah, okay, on the WhatsApp group. Here's the standard Hajj schedule, just a quick review. So, before Mecca, we're going to put ihram on. When we get in Mecca, we're going to go perform tawaf and sa'i, which is umrah. 8th of Dhul Hijjah, we start our Hajj, we're going to go to Mina. 9th of Dhul Hijjah, we're going to go to Arafah, we're going to go sleep in Muzdalifah. 10th of Dhul Hijjah, we're going to stone one marker 7 times. We're going to offer sacrifice of an animal. We're going to shave our head or trim our hair. We're going to get out of ihram partially. We're going to perform the tawaf in Mecca. 11th, we're just going to stone 3 markers. The 12th, we're going to stone 3 markers. And before we leave, we're going to perform 1 farewell tawaf. That is the entire Hajj schedule. Okay. Also, regarding this book, I recommend you get this book, not because I'm making any money off it or anything, but it just helps a lot. and it has all of this information with all the details. So I recommend, I have 5 copies with me. If you want, you could just get it from the same. We bought it from the school, and you can just buy it for the same price, inshallah. Now I'll take questions, inshallah ta'ala. Yes. Sacrifice it's not at Muzdalifah, but sacrifice in Mecca, I think it's been charged already. It was included in the price already, right? Yeah, so there was an additional price, I believe, in the price sheet. So as long as it said the sacrifice, you saw like that line item, it's been paid for already, inshallah. If you need to do an extra one because you made a mistake, then you have to pay an extra one, inshallah. Okay, other questions?
My questions are more related to the tour, and I asked the responses, so I don't know if I should keep asking that.
What are your questions regarding?
One is about, we're going to Dubai and we don't leave till the next day, do we have a hotel there?
Oh yeah, that's not me.
The
Yeah.
other thing is the WhatsApp, the link they gave in the email didn't work for me.
Yeah, it didn't work for me either. So they added me manually afterwards to another group. Are you on this group called 60 something?
Why don't they add us by phone number?
So I spoke to Brother Khalid about that. What happened is in the email, some up there's a return. The links are you need to do manually copy the first line to the second one to put together the dots. I'm sorry, but that's how it's going to work. So that's the only way to make it work. There's 2 lines.
Okay. But he can manually add them too, right?
He should, yeah, that's the other.
So Brother Khalid, if you're listening, could you just manually add the people in our group, because none of them got into the WhatsApp. So, that'll be great and make life easier. I think we're number 67, right? Is that right? So we're Airlink Group 67. If you just manually add everyone, you should have WhatsApp. So try and get a phone which has a ability to use WhatsApp. Yes. I don't know what that is.
Well, they closed the power bank.
What is that?
Power bank.
That's a power bank? Is that a phone power bank? Or is that a transmitter? I have no idea what that is either. Okay, I can look at it. See.
Came with my package.
It came with your package? Okay. This must be the transmitter then. Okay, this is a receiver. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to be able to broadcast while talking, and you're going to be able to hear. So maybe when we're going around, when we're making tawaf, you can have this on, and I could be like, okay, this is what we should be saying now, and good reception. You didn't get one? You're the only one who got one?
Yeah, I got 2. One for
You got 2. Okay. Alhamdulillah. I didn't get one either, so if that makes you feel any better. So I don't know what's happening there. So we can, once we all get added onto the group, we can ask him all these logistical questions. I'm sure he has them. If we need them, he has them for everyone over there, inshallah. I think it's for transmitting. So when I'm speaking, everyone can hear. It's kind of like tour operators when you go on a tour. You don't have to hear their voice, but you can hear it transmitted. So I can be like, hey, we're walking between Safa and Marwa. You should say this now. Just a reminder, inshallah. Yes, inshallah. Okay. Yes, he said sacrifice has been paid for. Once you leave Mecca hotel on the 8th, you will not have access to your hotel room anymore. Okay, so you cannot stay in Mecca anyways. No walking. You're not using train. Sleeping bag. The sleeping bag has to be very light, since we have very limited space in Mina. Most people are carrying the sleeping mat or a light sleeping bag. Okay, so if you bring the sleeping bag, make sure it's very light, not too heavy. Okay, and the group is 67. Yeah. So Brother Khalid, if we can possibly get everyone added on there, that'd be great. Other questions?
For the phones, do we need to get a SIM card over there or just
For the phones, you're going to need a SIM card. You're going to need an unlocked phone, unless you have T-Mobile. So T-Mobile, which ironically happens to be one of the cheaper services, which is why I have it, it actually gives you connection over there for free. Or you can upgrade your plan, whatever you have, AT&T or whatever, you could upgrade your plan to give you coverage in Arabia. So you could buy your own SIM card if you want, or you can just upgrade your plan to an international plan for 1 month. That's easy, you can do that. And keep the same number, yeah. Did it actually happen or is this theoretical? Okay, talk to me afterwards and I'll analyze the situation of that person. Inshallah. Yes.
For females in Saudi Arabia in general, like when we get to Jeddah and whatever, should we always be wearing abaya, or can we wear like skirts and shirts, or is it just best to always wear abaya?
Okay, so in terms of clothing for women, Islamically, you could wear anything that's Islamically appropriate. Culturally, you know, it's Saudi Arabia, so it is a little bit different, but there are people from all parts of the world. You don't want to stick out, right? So don't stick out too much. Just, you know, so you avoid glances. But since there's so many people, if you see other people doing it, you can do it. So just kind of make that judgment based upon when you're there, you know.
And for clothing, like I've watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos and things. Some people recommend to bring an outfit for every single day because you're not going to wash anything or whatever. I feel like that's a lot of stuff. to carry.
No, don't overload your suitcase. Don't bring too many things. It's true. I mean, during the Hajj time you can't wash your clothes, but outside of that, before and after the 5 days, you can. There's laundry services in the hotel. You can go outside and do some laundry. You know, you can find a place or something like that. But you don't want to overload your suitcases.
But it looks like from the 8th to the 12th, maybe, we're going to only have in a backpack everything that we need for those days. So it is very little stuff.
You probably will take a suitcase with you or a small bag, you know, carry-on type bag with you. Yeah.
But most of our luggage is going to be gone.
Most of your stuff will be gone. Yeah. Some people lug it with them, but it just becomes a hassle. You know, you can don't bring something too big, and don't bring something too small. Just keep it in the middle, inshallah. Yes. Yeah.
One of the things that helped me was to realize that whatever happened to me, whatever was irritating me throughout the whole Hajj was my lesson from Allah, and I needed to deal with it. That point of view helped me.
That's excellent reminder. Yep. So whatever a thing annoys us or something, it's a lesson for us. You know, alhamdulillah, very good.
I have one question.
How many are we total?
From
I have it here from Los Angeles. I can count it for you real quick. Also, he responded back. So these transmitters, if you didn't get it, he's going to give it to you in Mecca for those who didn't get it. Okay? So don't worry, he will give it to you in Mecca. Okay, so the total number of people we have is, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 from 17 on Turkish Airlines. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on Emirates. So 28. Yes. You should be there 4 hours in advance. 4 hours in advance, yeah. The flight, which airline are you on? You're on Turkish? So Turkish is, I forgot, it's like 5 something or something. 6:30? Okay, so you want to be there 4 hours in advance, inshallah. Okay. Other questions? Okay, so we will be going to Medina afterwards as well. So I will explain all the Medina stuff afterwards. I don't want to overload, your mind with. Once Hajj is done, everything's done. We'll sit down as a group and we'll be like, okay, now what's going to happen in Medina? I'll explain all of that to you, inshallah. Yes. It was an e-ticket, right? A code with the flight details and numbers and all that. Yeah, I got that too. I was thinking what that is. I guess it said e-ticket on the top of mine. So it should be okay, but we can double check with... Yeah, you're right, actually. I have the same thing. So, yeah, like itinerary thing. So yeah, Brother Khalid, if... are we actually going to get like a e-ticket looking like thing, or maybe we go to the counter and then it prints out, that may be the case. But we'll ask him on the WhatsApp group about all these things. That's probably going to be the best, inshallah, once we get added.
So medical was thinking basically on the floor, are they still going to be in
Yeah, we'll be in the group. We'll be together in a group area, but we're going to be sleeping out in the open. Yeah. So sisters, prepare for that too. So you're going to be sleeping out in the open, so you're going to keep like a hijab type thing on or something, because it's in public. There's no privacy there. Just the night. We're gonna get there around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, go to sleep, wake up for Fajr, and then we're out of there. Just one night, that's it. Yeah, like 6, 7, 8 hours, something like that. Inshallah. Okay, anything else? Okay, if you have any other questions, inshallah, once you get added to the WhatsApp group, you can just ask. Before you ask, just think that, is this a very specific question to me? If it is, you WhatsApp me privately. If it's a question that you think, hey, maybe someone else will have this question, ask it publicly on the group, and I will answer it publicly on the group so everyone can benefit, inshallah. So, last thing I have, Hakim, are you still there? Yeah, okay. Can you just go to the website real quick? The website is askthescholars.com. So, in addition to the Hajj book, which I recommend you get, like I said, I have a website that I'm launching. You're probably the first people who knows about this website now. It's like a Q&A website. And what I did was I started with Hajj and put a bunch of questions on there. So as you keep asking me questions that are very relevant to a general public, all the questions will keep getting uploaded to this website with the answers. So askthescholars.com. So it's still under construction. Yeah, not Ask the Scholar, singular, that's a different website. Ask the Scholars with an S.com. So yeah, so if you scroll down or you click on Hajj, these are all pretty much Hajj. You scroll down, do I have to spend the night in Mina? Is performing a sacrifice during Eid al-Adha required? If you're performing Hajj, can a man stop his wife from performing Hajj? Is it allowed to throw the stones during Hajj early? Is Hajj required if I'm in debt? Is it required to slaughter an animal for Eid? Are scented lotions and soaps considered to be perfumes? A lot of the stuff that we've covered, these are like the most common questions that people are asking. So I'm going to keep on uploading answers over here. It's a kind of work in progress. And then we'll have all the other topics as well. So it's going to be like, inshallah. Ask the Scholars. Yeah. Ask the Scholars. There's only one so far, but it's okay. It's plural still, yeah.
So they said that we have very long walks, 3 days, 45 minutes.
Okay, so to get to the Jamarat, which is the place where we throw the stones, we have a long walk at that point. It's about a 45-minute walk. Because we're not in the VIP tents, which are in front of it, we have to walk about an hour or so to get to the stoning place. There probably is a wheelchair if you can't, but we have to know in advance. We can coordinate that for you, inshallah. Okay, Lisa. Okay. Oh, so once you get added to the WhatsApp group, you're going to see my number there. You're going to see everyone's number there in the group settings. So my number is there. Anyway, you can take my number down at 714-785-0090. So 714-785-0090. Just don't sell my number to telemarketers, okay? Because they're very annoying. They already have it. Yes, yes indeed. So yeah, feel free to ask me questions, inshallah. You can either text me or you can WhatsApp message me. I check WhatsApp once a day only, so don't expect a response if you WhatsApp me, except during Hajj time. I'll check it regularly. But text, I check throughout the day. So this is some advice for you. Don't overload yourself with messages, otherwise your life will be destroyed. Yeah, yes.
So just speaking of the
Yes.
go to the
Thank you.
website.
Yes. So there's a really good website. So CARE released an advisory recently about, if you have problems getting back in the country or getting out of the country, you get interrogated and all of that. There's some general guidelines that you should really follow. Which website is it? CARE LA, basically?
Yeah, it's just the
Yeah, just Google CARE, C-A-I-R. Go to the CARE website. They have an advisory on, what are your rights? What kind of questions do you have to answer? How do you answer questions? What if they say we want to take your phone and all that stuff? So you should kind of know some of your rights. And if you go to Muslim Advocates, It's another website. There's another organization. They have some really good mock videos of if you ever encounter like an agent who is a TSA agent in the airport who's kind of like asking you certain questions, how you kind of respond to them. This is the right way to respond. This is the wrong way to respond. Okay. Lastly, you may want to change if you have a fingerprint or you have Face ID on your phone. You may want to change that to a password. Because what I read from the CARES advisory was they can force you to put your fingerprint on your phone to unlock it, but they cannot force you to unlock your phone with the password. So at that point in time, you could just change it back to disable the fingerprint as soon as you get off the plane, if you don't want to give them your password. But they'll take your phone maybe. Depends on their mood, right? Depends on how much they want to profile you as an agent. So they can potentially take your phone up to a month. So if you don't want to unlock your phone may be gone for up to a month. They have to give it back to you afterwards. If you're like, no one's getting into my phone. I have very sensitive data in here and I don't want them to, you can give up your phone for a month, up to a month. If you say, I don't have time, I need an Uber, I need to call someone to pick me up, prepare all of that way in advance, and then you can unlock the phone for you. They're going to flip through your phone, they're going to search for, I don't know, they're going to check like, did the guy use the word jihad on a WhatsApp group somewhere? And they're going to search. They actually did that to me. They actually started searching different terms and stuff like that. And they're probably going to plug your phone in and download all of your data. That means every single WhatsApp conversation you've ever had, every single picture and photo you've had without hijab on and all that stuff, they will data dump everything and sort through your data. That's what's happening right now. So that could happen to you if you get stopped for screening. There's like a percentage. So in that case, you want to be prepared, depending on how valuable your data is for you. Okay, we have some more responses. Is Brother Jadullah there in the group, in the seminar? No, he is not here. We have a total of 46 people in group 67. So the ones that I told from SoCal, and the rest have been added from other places into group 67. So a total of 46 people on our bus. What he gave you is a printout booking reference and ticket number, and that is sufficient. You don't need anything else. It is 45 minutes each way to get to the Jamarat stoning place. And there is no wheelchair. You have to bring your own wheelchair and your relative has to push it. There is no attendant available to push the wheelchair for you. So yeah, so you have to get your own attendant or family member or something like that. So you can, I think you might be able to hire people there or something like that when you get there. No, we're talking about in Mina. So yeah, when we're talking about tawaf, piece of cake, you can hire someone. Sa'i especially, yeah, piece of cake, get wheelchair there, no problem. We're talking about in Mina because someone asked about Mina specifically. So it is 45 minutes. If you need a wheelchair, you can actually rent a wheelchair. You can buy a wheelchair over there. Might be cheaper to just buy it over there. So depending if you need that. Okay. Other questions? Yes.
When we get to LAX, since we're 4 hours in advance or whatever, should we as a person just get in the line and check in, or do we wait for everybody?
That is a great question for Brother Khalid as well, inshallah. So Brother Khalid, the question is, when we get to LAX, should we go in the line and just check in, or should we wait for everyone else to come together as a group? My answer would be, you wait in line, because we're all not just going to wait. So there's going to be a long line. Jump in the line, check in your flight, and then we'll get together as a group. At the gate, kind of, exactly.
And if you have, like I have a little entry, and I can skip this.
Then you're going to skip everyone, and we're all going to be waiting in line, and you're going to be walking in the front.
The thing is, I don't think they put it on my ticket, so that it won't work.
Then you should try and get your ticket adjusted. I think you have up to a week in advance or something you can get adjusted, where they just add the code to it.
Okay.
I would inquire about that.
Call Emirates about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the back. Yeah.
I tried to just print that out and bring that up.
He said it's sufficient, so that should be enough. Yeah, so they're going to issue your boarding pass at the counter, and they don't need to scan anything actually. So there's not really supposed to be a scan. You're not supposed to have your ticket, your boarding ticket, your boarding pass. Your boarding pass you get at the ticket counter, and this reference, you don't even need that. Honestly, you don't even need to show them. You're just going to give them your passport, they're going to look you up, and they're like, you are on this flight, they're going to print out your thing for you, and you're going to go, inshallah. Any other questions?
How about the currency exchange?
Currency exchange, yes. So if I think it should be still $1 to 375 or 372 riyals. You can exchange currency over there. If you exchange via cash, you get a better rate. So if you bring $100 bills, they like $100 bills for some reason. So I think they'll give you more at some places. Or you could just, if you have a debit card, you just put it in the machine and you take out riyals directly from the machine, and it'll just charge you a small transaction fee. If you're really big on saving like 2 riyals, bring $100 bills. The newer they are, the crisper they are, the more likely you're going to get the full 374, 375. We have to go down the street and like find that person who's going to give it to you. If you go to the machine, you're going to get like 372 minus $3 penalty or something like that. So it depends on convenience versus squeezing every single riyal you could possibly get out. And carrying cash on you, yeah. So it's up to you, So that's your choice. So be careful with your cash. There'll be a safe in the probably in the hotel room. Be very careful. Don't forget your $100 bills inside the safe. Don't forget your jewelry inside the safe. It's happened. People in Hajj, they forgot their jewelry inside the safe when we were checked out. We drove 4 hours, and they're like, I just remembered that my jewelry's in the safe. We're like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me, So riyals here, you can get riyals here from anywhere. I mean, from the currency exchange. You go to. Yeah, you probably get a lower rate here, I would assume. So, I mean, the best rate is $100 bills if you take them with you. If otherwise, you could just get it from, you can get it from the machine. Basically, you'd be fine. I wouldn't take too much riyals from here. Honestly, there's no need to like. If you have a few riyals, you can get it right in the airport. It's not that difficult. Yeah. Inshallah. All people should wear the ID and get the boarding pass and meet right afterwards. Okay, so he's saying, yeah, check in, get your boarding pass, and then we're going to meet later on in the airport, inshallah.
Oh, and there were some tags in our folders. Do we put
Yeah.
them in the bag before we check in?
It's better if you just keep, they're mainly designed for Mecca, but you should just put them on your bag immediately. What's going to happen is if your bag gets lost at Jeddah, for example, they'll at least know which hotel to send it to, because it's got the hotel name on there. So just put it on all your bags, to be on the safe side. If your bag gets misplaced, your bag is gone, so you really want to tag it nicely. Other questions?
Sorry, do you think you're gonna spend a lot of money? Or is it just for personal? Like, what do you think is a good amount of money?
That's a good question. Good amount of money to take. You're not going to spend that much money. Mainly a little bit on food, and most of the food is covered. A lot of the food is covered. A little bit on food, and you're going to buy a few things here and there. Minimum few $100s should suffice. Yeah, dates and some. Yeah. So minimum few $100s will suffice. Unless you plan on doing a lot of shopping or buying expensive perfumes and all that, then you may want to bring more. Inshallah. Again, if you make a mistake and you have to offer a sacrifice, that's going to be like $200 or something. So you want to bring a little extra is good. It can't hurt. Yeah. Inshallah.
Stay with the group, though, and do what you tell us to do. We're not going to make mistakes.
Yes. Inshallah. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Anyone else? You can always. There's only 2 people left on the chat here, but if you're online and you want to ask a question, you can ask that question. Otherwise, inshallah. Okay, so we'll get added to the WhatsApp very quickly or very soon, and I'll keep taking questions. Hope to see you in the journey, and we're all leaving on Saturday. Emirates are leaving on Saturday as well, inshallah. So we'll see you at the airport on Saturday, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك الله ونتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا. And if you want the Hajj book, let me know, or you could order on Amazon.com, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We will pray Zuhr with the rest of the group, inshallah ta'ala.